Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SimPlay Motorsport. We are back for another fun event. The season is only a few weeks away, and we are back in time now for what should be an absolutely fantastic fun event, in my opinion. I think we're going to be in for a great night of racing action. I'm your host, Mathew Duffin. I will be joined in the commentary box momentarily by Gray Langley and by that of Mathew Wright as well, in which should be a great night of action. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you all had a good Christmas and a good New Year as we head into 2026. Season 10 is upon us very, very shortly, in a couple of weeks' time, with the Hoodarren Cup, the GT3 Pro-Am of silver and bronze, and then the GT3 Pro of gold and platinum. What a season it is going to be of racing here. Good afternoon to Chris in the chat at the moment. I can see him in there. Hope you've all had a good Christmas and New Year. Like we say, we will be joined by Gray Langley and Matt Wright in just a moment, but we are on the circuit for the first fun event of two. We've got the GT2s, the BMW M2s and the GT4s taking on the Nurburgring in tonight's racing. We can see Patrick Leger running in the Audi GT2, the Maserati of Richie Michel. Mike Matthews is in the Mercedes-Benz, the KTM of Schumacher with Schwab in the KTM as well. De Court is in the Audi, as is Flores back out on the circuit. Sturrock in the KTM, and Michael Johnson. Also Benny Varga running his old school Porsche. The GT4s at the moment, we've got Mezin currently in the Mercedes-Benz with Hibbs. Stardog running the Porsche. Cummins is in the Alpine. A pair of Chevrolets in Rob Smith and Sherry Moore. Diaz is currently the pole sitter in the BMW M2s, with Benton running his BMW M2, as well as Anderson in this one. Bronze runner-up in the Hoodarren Cup last season, if you remember. Jimenez takes the track in his BMW M2. Mirko Ricci in the BMW M2s, as well as Crack and Horvath. We then got Phil Atherton in a GT4, Braga in an M2, Will Friedman in the GT2 as well. He's about to come across the line to start to finish his lap. And where's he's going to put Will Friedman? I'm assuming right to the top of the timing standings. No, he's not. 4/10 off the pace of Patrick Leger at the moment. How are we all though, chat? Hope you're really well and had a good Christmas and New Year. Let me know if you can hear me absolutely loud and clear, and let me know as well if you can hear the stream loud and clear as well. We will, like I said, we will be joined by Gray Langley and by Matt Wright momentarily, hopefully before the race starts as well. And we are expecting at least 32 drivers on the grid tonight, just a couple short at the moment. Matt Wright is in as a spectator as well. It's great to see so many drivers in there. And which car are we mainly looking forward to? Let us know that one as well. Which car do we think is going to be an interesting choice to see go round this fantastic circuit of the Nurburgring? Good evening to Carrie Clarbel in the chat as well. So the Alpine GT4, which is a little bit quicker than the BMW M2s. I'm just going to actually call up a little bit of lap data for you all to show you. And I'm on a new setup myself this season, so I've got my two PC monitors using as the PC. And then I've got a new monitor over my rig, which is being used for the PlayStation. So this should be an interesting one to read and find out. Let's see what happens at the moment. But I'm just going to call up a little lap data for you all, just to get a little perspective into the overall sort of pace of these cars. I think that'll be an interesting one to see what we can digest or pick from it. So if I go the Nurburgring, and then if I go Car Clash GT2, load that one, and then let's load up the GT4s. And this is not just on the SimPlay server, this is on any server of times done so far. And then let's call up the BMW M2 lap time as well. So the GT2 lap times, you're looking at a good lap of a 1:53.7. Leger's a 55.0. So a little bit off the pace there. Leger's done a 55.1, bearing in mind, and that was today actually. So in fact, he's even beat that time now. So Leger's gone a little quicker in that one. The GT4 lap times, you're looking at around about, some of these are incorrect because people jump out the car and then go back in it to make the times look a little bit better. But the GT4s are roughly 10 seconds slower, so we're looking at a 2:05. There is a couple of 2:03s on there, which could be true. McGowan and Skunky, even Jamal Cloudon's on there with a couple of 203s. Mezin as well, a 203.6. So that'll be interesting to keep an eye on that. And then the M2s, just double check that their times look accurate as well. What are they saying off the back of? So they're saying about 4 seconds off the back. So yeah, that's about right there. So a 207 is the best time. Hoopert's done a 209. O'Reilly a 209. McGowan a 209. Just to name some times that we've seen at the moment. So yeah, a couple of drivers that we know on that list. So this could be an interesting night's worth of racing here at the Nurburgring. What a night it could be. Jimenez saying in the chat that he hates this car. You've got a 90-minute race coming up. Obviously, there was the calendar announcement of the two 90-minute races coming your way, which I think is going to make it interesting for next season. And I think that's going to make it just a little bit more interesting to find out what we'll see throughout the course of this season. If I just load up now the calendar for next year, you'll be able to see that next season, starting on the 3rd, 4th and 5th of February, we go to the Hungaroring, then over to Brands Hatch for the first night race of the season. Only the one night race this season. Then we head to Kyalami, and the little star next to Kyalami means it will be a 90-minute GT3 only, no Who Darren Cup, a 90-minute race for you all to enjoy out there. At the moment, I'll find Benton on the circuit, get a bit of M2 action on there. So that is going to be an interesting one to see what will happen. Watkins Glen to end off February, then the start of March is Laguna Seca, Snetterton, the evening race, which I'm going to love this one. The evening race at Indianapolis is the second of the 90-minute races, so that's going to be an interesting one to find out what can happen in that. Imola. And then Valencia to end off March and start April, and we end, of course, at the home of SimPlay Motorsport, Donington Park for an early morning race. Which will be interesting as the sun rises at Donington Park in April. I highly doubt that one, but we'll see what happens. Like we said, we are expecting Gray Langley and Matt Wright to join us very, very soon in the commentary box for what should be a cracking night's worth of multi-class action. And the multi-class action doesn't stop there. We've then got, and I'll bring up a little preview of this one as well, because I'm really looking forward to this, a little bit of this is next week's fun event, the Ferrari Challenge. I don't know why that's done that. Let me change that, because that's changed something there. It's a little bit of Ferrari Challenge, Porsche Cup and Super Trofeo around Spa. So that's going to be another interesting bit to keep our eyes on. And then we've got the endurance calendar for the endurance series team event coming your way on the 7th of February to round out the week of the first racing. We head to Imola for the 4 hours of that one. The Nordschleife the 7th of March for a 6-hour race. Bathurst is on the 11th of April for 6 hours. Spa Francorchamps is a 4-hour race on the 9th of May. The 13th of June is the 5 hours of Watkins Glen, and we end with the 6 hours of Donington Park. So plenty of action coming your way over the course of this next season of racing. And of course the endurance calendar may lead into season 11 of whether that'll be project cars or not. Qualifying is underway. Hibbs will lead them out. The qualifying session for tonight is 15 minutes of every car on track at the same time. So traffic and track position here could be absolutely key. And we're still seeing the 26 cars on the circuit, so let's see what will happen in this category. But it is going to be Hibbs that leads away the GT4s. That pink BMW behind. Might have to turn the monitor so I can actually see the car numbers. That is car number 14, I believe that is saying. There isn't a 14. So it must be the 54. It is the 54 of Diesch. And then the GT2 car, well, I don't know who is leading that one away. It's definitely not Mike Matthews or Schumacher, but we'll stay with Hibbs for the time being. He was the man we was watching, so let's stay with him as he's the lead car going around this circuit at the moment. Jimenez saying an endurance calendar too. Indeed, there is. It's going to be a great season of racing here at SimPlay Motorsport. It really is going to be a fascinating one. And yeah, this is going to be, without a doubt, I think, an interesting season. No MSA, no Dan Davis at the moment. Sign-up still available with some spots left, so could be an interesting season. Gareth Hansen in the chat, good luck to everyone. Have a great race, and make sure you wave your way past my M2. Anson, obviously the bronze runner-up in the Who Darren Cup. Who Darren Cup returns to the GT4s this year. A lot of sign-ups still available for that. So if you are interested in that one, make sure you join our Discord or head over to the SimGrid and get yourself signed up for them events. But the other multi-class event will go live tonight to the public of the Ferrari Challenge one, in which I'm really looking forward to. Currently got 4 of each car in that list and ready to go. So then, we're in that qualifying session and Hibbs is about to start his first flying lap on board with Hibbs in his Mercedes-Benz as he comes through turn 1 into that Mercedes-Benz arena. And I think me and Kelly have always said this section of the circuit's been a bit of a Mickey Mouse section of the track. Kind of don't need it. I prefer the GP layout of the 24 Nordschleife circuit. We have the Mercedes-Benz arena for this first part as Hibbs then working his magic just to try and get a lap time on the board. And the interesting thing here is the GT2s have all came out after that of some of the M2s and some of the GT4, so they've got to work their way through traffic not to cause an incident on the outlaps for any driver so far. So let's see what happens in this race, because this could be a real fascinating one to see what happens here then. For Hibbs at the minute, coming down to the Dunlop hairpin up towards the Schumacher S as he now goes. Has got a car behind him. I will move my monitor when we get Langley right in. I'll get them to do some talking while I move the monitor just so I can see the numbers of the cars a little bit. I'm looking forward to this race. I think this is going to be a really fascinating race to keep our eyes on to see what's going to happen this season. Good evening to Peaceful Stepdad. Fun event, don't forget tonight, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you are new, hit the bell to be notified, and of course hit the subscribe button as well as the subscribe. I've said it twice possibly now, but here we go. Hibbs towards the final chicane will be the first man to complete a lap in qualifying. Then 11 minutes left on the clock. We are at 27 drivers. We've got another Mercedes-Benz GT4 in the on the circuit at the moment. He's currently in the pits. Johnson in the pits also. So them two guys need to get out on the track. And here comes Hibbs then to set the first flying lap. We'll jump back. That's one of the Audis in the background of the GT2s. We'll jump back. It's not Patrick Leger. We'll stay on Patrick Leger for the time being. We'll try and pick up as many different drivers as we can. Patrick setting the pace in the practice session. Good looking livery on that car as well. So let's see what pace Patrick Leger can have at the moment. You are seeing Friedman at the top of the timing screens. Mike Matthews 1.3 seconds. Schumacher. Hibbs is current pole for the GT4 category. On board with Mirko Ricci. The M2's being led by Diaz. Mirko Ricci just starting a lap. Let's try and find someone at the end of their lap. Braga, he's coming towards the end. So let's stay on board with Braga. We're not seeing an M2 cross the line yet. Let's see what Braga will be able to do in this qualifying session then. As he comes towards the line for the towards the final chicane. Sorry, the M2's obviously that little bit slower than the GT4s. Hibbs still got that provisional pole. Mezin's the guy to keep your eyes on in GT4, that is for sure. Friedman the guy to keep your eye on. Oh no, Braga, big spin, exiting the final corner, and into the wall he goes. And we'll go back to Mirko Ricci now. He's coming towards the end of his lap. Let's see him put a lap time on the board. Braga back into the pits. Well, it's going to be an interesting one for sure to see what's going to happen out there tonight in this session. Again, just a fun event. So there's no prizes. There's no points up for grabs. It is just a fun event. Get a stream out there for you guys because it's been a while. Good evening to Neil Broom. Hope you're well, buddy. As here comes Mirko Ricci to the line. Where's he going to go in that BMW? He's crossed the line and he's not set a lap time at the moment. Who's coming towards the end of a lap? The 777 of Schumacher. What can he do in a lovely German-looking KTM? Rear end just stepping out a little bit through that final corner. That is Mike Matthews just behind him. On the circuit, there's Diaz as well. Schumacher goes above Mike. Mike goes back above Schumacher. Where's Diaz? Down in 15th. Does he improve on his time? No, he does not. Let me go to Anderson himself, the 95. Let's see what he can do. Hope you're well, Neil, buddy. Let's just see what will happen in this qualifying session. Here comes Anderson, yet to set a lap time. Benton's taken the pole away from DS by just 500ths of a second. Anderson towards the line. And no time set there for him. Let's pick up with somebody else. There's Johnson. Where's Crack? Crack's got a bit of damage to the front of his car. Horvath then back after doing the GT4s a few seasons ago. Great to see Horvath back on the circuit. Be great to see him back for the season next year as well. He's a cracky little driver in the GT4s. So let's see what Horvath can do in this M2 now. So we are expecting 32 cars on the track tonight. Horvath just a little off the pace of DS. Only the 3 M2s have set lap time. A lot of M2s haven't. Johnson's got a bit of work to do, but at the top of the standings, Friedman a 10th clear. And this is the problem, look, for Will Friedman. He's just got Hibbs right in front of him. Now, that's going to have delayed his time on this lap. So he's going to have had a delayed lap time there. So I don't think this will be an improvement. Be taking part in next week's race. And the day after having my operation, fingers crossed. Well, hopefully it all goes well for you, Neil. I know you've had a few problems with getting this operation over the line at the moment and not having it sorted. Friedman a 55.2. Now, Leger did do a 55.0 in practice. Will we see maybe a 54 for the GT2s tonight? Here comes Will Friedman, pulls out, tucks back in, doesn't improve on his time like we thought he wouldn't. Hibbs second, 1.2 off the back of Mezin, who is flying out there at the moment. Where's Diaz coming towards the final chicane? There's Patrick Leger as well, so let's go check out Leger's time before jumping on to Diaz. We can see Diaz P18 at the moment. Leger did a 55.0 in that practice session, so it'd be good to see what Leger can do. Has he found any more? No, he has not. Diaz does improve a little bit, and we are joined now by our co-Pro-Am commentator, and the man I'm telling you now, keep this between us in the chat, if this man races a wheel, I'm tipping him for gold. I've said it now. Great to have you back. It's been a while, buddy, in the comms box. We've missed you.
Everyone in the SimPlay family. It's good to be back. Fun events, getting back into the swing of things, dipping our toes, getting ready for the new season. And yeah, it's good to be back commentating. Voice is a bit fresh, voice is ready to go, and ready to see a lot of action out on the track tonight.
Yeah, we are ready to see a lot of action out there on the circuit tonight. It is, like you said, you was live for the week before the finale, wasn't you? That's the last time we had you in the box, if I'm correct.
Yes.
How, did you manage to catch the last part of the season, or?
Luckily the championships were, for the most part, wrapped up, except the constructors and Pro-Am. So yeah, I did watch the last race of the season, and SimPlay taking home the constructors and Pro-Am, and then Audio Sport ends up in second. Did Sam finally getting his first win of the year, ironically, when I'm not commentating. I mean, you and I were both saying that it seemed like he was due for a win, and it just took to the last round.
Yeah, it did. It was a cracking end to the season. Be an interesting one next season, I think, as well. Obviously, me and you are bringing the Pro-Am action. Still unsure who's bringing the Darren and the Pro action at the moment, so bear with us on that, because we do have a new commentator, lined up and possibly going to be in with us. Not going to reveal too much just yet. But next season, looking at Pro-Am, Stardog's been relegated into Pro-Am. A couple of drivers obviously coming out of bronze into that silver category, the likes of Sturrock and Betterson, and then you've got the same old. You've got Wolski, you've got Leach, Millington, Williams. Tannen Ebone is back next season. Greaves up there back in the BMW. It could be a really competitive Pro-Am season, even more competitive than one we've just had.
Yeah, exactly. You said Wolski. I believe that's pro grade, but even that, Wolski and a lot of the BMWs were very fast at the end of last season, and I expect them to continue that into next season. And yeah, Pro-Am, like we say every year, that grid, that Pro-Am grid, just keeps getting closer and closer to the Pro grid in terms of talent. It is absolutely stacked for a Pro-Am grid.
And the thing I'm looking forward to about it as well is not just that, but we've already seen several teams be announced on the Discord that I think, have a real fighting chance of winning that Constructors' Championship.
Yeah, for sure. The Constructors, oddly enough, always seems to play into hand, whether that be a very fast driver and a mid-table driver putting it together, or like last year in the M2s, it was the top of Gold class and the top of Silver class for M2s. So it's very interesting to see, and because there's always a lot of points on the table, especially with 2 drivers instead of 1, it leads to, like we saw last season, even though the Drivers' Championship was wrapped up in Pro-Am, it left it right down to the wire for the Constructors.
It did indeed. We have got John Goudet in now as well, so that puts the numbers up to 28. The interesting thing I'm looking at here is the bronze category as well, because obviously Sturrock and Bettison, who was dominant last season in the bronze championship, they was running with such pace. They was fighting for nearly podiums in the silver class at times.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the list of names in bronze. Rob Smith, change of car for him. What can he do? Ian Best, we know what Best he can do. He's got to put the practice and the preparation in and make sure he's ready to go on the night. He could be one to watch. Privet jumps down into bronze. That could be an interesting one. I'm not going to say the new names at the moment because we haven't seen a lot of them to know what they can do. Cherry Moore, he came on strong at the end of the season. He could be one to watch. Tucker had a good season, bit mixed, but he's got the pace to be up there. Malarex, we know how much he pushed Bettison in the early parts of the years. He could be one to watch. Peckman dropping down from silver, another guy to keep your eyes on. And then Page did a few races in that Porsche, but the Australian had pace when in the bronze category. So bronze as well as silver looks a real interesting championship.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned Bestie. I think he was rattling off podiums to begin the season. I think for him, it's just a matter of honestly showing up. He could have a real shot at that bronze championship if he just puts in a few hours a week and shows up week in and week out, and he might have a chance to win that. But yeah, it's also very interesting to see the new drivers that come in, and the ones we saw last season that we know are going to be competitive, and then the new ones that will be at the front all of a sudden. And it always makes for a great championship fight, platinum through bronze.
It does indeed. Good evening to Will Friedman as well. Multi-class quali is tricky, he says. Indeed, it has been a tricky qualifying session. We've got 8 seconds left of it. DJ Phil Atherton's, oh no, that's DS, sorry, who's just been disqualified from quali, so his lap may not count, and he may be starting at the back of the pack. We're currently watching Patrick Leger, who is on a final lap, and we've got car number 18, who's towards the back end of a lap. That is Flores, so we'll go on board with Flores at the moment, just to have to be patient behind the slow classes. That's fine, says Friedman. Indeed it is. Neil Broom, Privet was in bronze last season. Oh, it's Broom that's dropped down, sorry, not Privet. So, well, apologies, I'll change it, because I think Broom then has a good chance at winning this championship, because I really think that the guys that's out there, that are, that's dropped down from the silver class, mixed with some of them front runners from bronze last season, I think they're the ones that have a real good chance, and it's going to be a really close fight. I'm looking forward to the season. We are joined now as well, better late than never, I suppose, by Matt Wright, who's not having a bad day at all, probably. Righty, good evening.
Good evening. How are you all doing?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Yourself?
I'm not too bad. Not too bad. Looking forward to another exciting race.
Me and Langley was just on about the Pro-Am category and how about this season feels like it could be closer than last season. Would you agree on that?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, it was a hell of a close season. Last season to be even closer would be very impressive. But yeah, there's definitely a few names on there that you could pick out as possible champions.
Indeed you could. Will Friedman saying that I thought the car would be more complicated to drive, but it's actually fun. There we go. Friedman enjoying the Audi GT4. So the grid order is Will Friedman from Patrick Leger, Richie Michel from Schwab, Mike Matthews from Schumacher, DeCourt, Flores, Sturrock, Johnson and Benny Varga in that old school Porsche rounding out the GT2 grid. Mesin on pole for the GT4s alongside Hibbs with Stardog, Cummings, Rob Smith, Cherry Moore, Benton, and then, Benton, apologies, is the pole sitter for the BMW M2s alongside Mirko Ricci, Jimenez from Anderson with Braga, Horvath, Phil Atherton in his GT4 getting out qualified by some of the M2s. Not the showing Phil would have wanted on his new steering wheel. Crack then back in the M2s. That is, I'm going to struggle to pronounce that name, but it's the Mercedes 99 who is 26th. John Goudet didn't get a qualifying lap in 27th, and Diaz disqualified at the back of the pack. Possibly not the worst place to be, Langley, going into turn 1 at Nurburgring.
Yeah, not too bad at all, especially with how it concertinas up at the first corner. A lot of contact possibilities, and toward the back of the grid, you almost come to a standstill because of how choked up it gets. It's a very wide entry that narrows down into, like, you can go 3 wide, but the way it tightens and the way it dips downhill, it creates for a very pinch at the apex for all these cars, and you have 3 different classes, and the pole sitters aren't going to try to attack the class ahead, but with the effect back in the field, you're going to have a lot of people, like say for the M2s for example, they're going to really want to make positions up at the start, but they could go over aggressive if they're not careful.
Indeed, Mike's telling us to say unique for the 99 Mercedes-Benz, so we'll go with unique for the rest of the
That's
of the night.
what I thought.
I think unique.
You'd think being a professional I'd get the names down, but I butcher more names than you can imagine. That Matt Wright is a difficult name to say. Going into this though, both of you, this is a question for 90-minute race. We've gone through the calendar before you joined us. We've seen that there's 2 90-minute races on the GT3 calendar for Pro and Pro-Am this season. This is a little test for us as admins and us as a league to just see what this is going to be like. With it kind of also not being a test, because the GT2s are going to be well in front of the other classes. It's going to be chaos out there, let's be honest. The Nürburgring at times is not the widest circuit.
No, and I like the idea of a 90-minute race because it puts the mental fatigue factor into play. I will say in the pro category, definitely. Even in the Pro-Am, when you're side by side with someone or racing someone for an entire 60-minute, at that time in Pro-Am 70-minute race, it gets very tiring, and in the pro category you're always by someone. So for a 90-minute race, I will say toward the end of some races in pro, it gets very, you can lose focus very easily if you're not prepared, and you can easily make a lapse in judgment on track. So this extra 30 minutes for some races this year, I believe, is it 2 or 3 races?
2
this
races.
Year? 2 races this year. I really like that idea because you have to start from start to finish 90 minutes, not a 20 or not a 15-minute break and then race. But I really like the idea of a mental fatigue factor coming into place, and who benefits the most from that?
Yeah, that's going to be the interesting thing, isn't it? See what happens throughout this season with that, and I think that's going to be the interesting thing to keep our eyes on. Just a reminder that there is no sprint race on the 90-minute race, no reverse grid. It will just be pure qualifying and 1 race. Good evening to Cairns and to Chris. No, we've already said evening to Chris. It's the same Chris. Evening, Langley, Wrighty and Matthews. This should be interesting 90-minute race. The thing I'm looking forward to, Matt, this season is a bit really what Langley said there, is drivers and us as commentators have always said, oh, if only he had another 5 minutes. Well, we're going to get that extra 5 minutes. We're going to get an extra 30. So drivers now, like Langley says, that mental fatigue, really got to stay sharp and focused for the extra 30 minutes.
100%, yeah. And especially like, I mean, I think in both leagues, Pro-Am, you know, it's going to be tough at the top. You're going to have to stay switched on. Plus that extra 30 minutes, you know, do you do an hour stint followed by 30 to really push? I think it'd be track dependent, but yeah, should hopefully mix things up a little bit and keep it interesting.
Well, we're coming around the final corner now. Will Freeman is that pole sitter. Leger's just slightly ahead of him at the moment on this formation lap as we're about to go green here at the Nurburgring. And we are green and go then for the first fun event of the season. Spa-Francorchamps will bring the second one of Ferraris, Lamborghinis and Porsches next week. But Leger and Freeman literally door to door as they head down in towards turn number 1. Who's going to get the better of the braking? It is actually that of Schwab, who's going right around the outside. Richie Michel looks to send one up the inside of Patrick Leger. And Schwab there now attacking the inside line of Will Freeman. Coming through the first couple of corners. What's happening down in the GT4s? All looks relatively cleanly. No yellow flags popping up on the screen. Everybody has got away well. And Mezin doing what he did in the M2s last season, getting ahead at the start. What is happening in the M2s though? Benton leading just from Mirko Ricci. But a great clean start all through the Mercedes-Benz arena. Who says multi-class isn't a good idea?
I really like the idea of multi-class because, especially over this longer race, and we're going to see it in our next fun event as well. And I'm quite excited for these multi-class races.
This is going to be a fascinating race as further down the order. Schumacher trying to attack the outside of Mike Matthews. I'm sure Matthews would love to add Schumacher to a list of names that he's beaten. It's not Michael or Ralph though, so it probably won't stand for as much, but it's great to see Schumacher out there on the grid. And Mike's fending off that, swinging off his new brake pedal. He's had new brakes. He's had to put them on. He's then had to change his plate tonight. He's changed the spring in them. It has been all go for Mike Matthews. And what can he do in that Mercedes-Benz? But a good start to this race from Will Freeman, from that of Schwab. Sorry, he's the one who leads the way from Patrick Leger, and then from Will Freeman, Mike Matthews from Schumacher with Richie Michel, then De Court, Flores, Johnson, Benny Varga, and Sturrock. Mezin, your current GT4 leader, who's got a big gap over Hibbs already, 1 second that gap. Then comes Startup before Cummins with John Goudet. But from by the back of the pack, by the way, because he got in late and didn't qualify, already up to 16th place. That is a great opening lap for Goudet.
Yeah, I think he was able to stay out of trouble. And honestly, the power difference from the GT4s to the M2s might have helped him at the start because the GT4 pack was able to actually pull away enough. I didn't realize that it was going to go green quite as early on the straight, but you had some cars that were through the final corner that would have gotten the green flag as well. So he probably had that entire straight past the M2 cars.
And the bonus is as well here is we did a quick time check, is the GT2s are about 10 seconds quicker than the GT4s. The M2s are about 4 seconds slower than the GT4s. So you'd really think that GT4s would get through the pack. Phil Atherton's down in last place. He's struggling to get through that pack. We're on board though with Unique. Rob Smith running the Chevrolet. Right behind him at the moment. And we've got Cummins, who has lost out to John Goudet at the moment. But out front, look at the gaps in the GT2 category. It is really an interesting fight at the front of this pack. KTM, Audi, and then Mercedes-Benz of Mike Matthews gaining on the back of these guys as well. Schwab just holding them up. Strategy tonight's going to be interesting, Matt, because there's no pit window, but the drivers surely aren't going to go 90 minutes on a full tank of fuel and a set of tyres.
I don't think it's possible, is it? What would you say, hour 10 for a full tank of fuel, possibly?
Yeah,
I'm not too sure in GT2s how much they burn up.
The GT2s, I believe, burn quite a bit more than some GT3 cars. I know they are quite fuel thirsty, so I honestly think an even split would be the best.
Yeah.
We've kind of got 3 different strategies, haven't we, as well? Because the GT4s will go a little bit longer, you think, than the GT2s, and the M2s will probably go a bit further than the GT4s. So we'll see what plays out. But tyres, Langley, it's 28-degree track temp. It's not a cold day. It's only going to get a little bit warmer as this race goes on. It's going to be an interesting one to see.
Yeah, for sure. They're scrapping out in the front. Leger had a look on Schwab, and he's going to do it again into the first turn. Schwab kind of throws a shoulder. Leger round the outside, but goes a little deep, opens the door for Friedman. They're now side by side through the stadium section.
And now Mike Matthews is looking on the outside of Patrick Leger, and this is on board Mike Matthews' car to see that view of Patrick Leger and Will Freeman going hammer and tong in the pair of Audis, German cars on German circuits, and Patrick Leger gets back ahead of Freeman, maybe a slight bit of contact. Now Mike looks round the outside, looks for the up and under in that Mercedes-Benz. Richie Michel's come to the party as well, and Mike Matthews giving the Frenchman, who's back in pro this season, a little bit of a hurry up. Round the outside of turn 5 he goes, not going to do it round there into turn 6, but what a race race out front in the GT2s at the moment. We'll get onto that pro grid a little later on, but my oh my, if this is what's to come in pro next season, this could be a really juicy fight.
Nose to tail, massive fight. Great start to the race, great racing. Clean start and great racing already out on track.
Benny Varga fending off that of Sturrock at the moment, your Pro-Am champion for silver, and overall last season fending off the new silver driver of Sturrock. I feel like Benny Varga's picked the wrong car for these GT2s, because that form of the Porsche is not as great, and he's gone off at the Schumacher S's, and now Sturrock's going to have a look at him coming towards the couple of corners after Benny Varga. Internet just disappearing and reappearing. It's probably what has put Sturrock not to overtake him in that one. Dropping down to John Goudet, he's on the back of Stardog. One of the interesting things I want to talk about while we're on the GT4s a second is no teams for the GT4s next year in the Who Darren Cup. It is every man for themselves. That could be just all-out warfare.
Yeah, definitely. It's it's going to be interesting. No team tactics, no holding any other drivers up. Obviously, within the boundaries. But yeah, it should be interesting. Hopefully, we'll see lots of fights. No team orders.
Diaz goes up the inside of Anderson then, so he's got a move done. He now runs second in that M2 category. We've got Jimenez on the back of Horvath. No, he's ahead of Horvath now, sorry. So Timey Tower just needs to update there. So job done for him. Friedman now on the back of Schwab with Leger. They've gapped Mike a little bit, and that is Richie Michel fastest lap, just being shoved out the way a little bit there by Schumacher. And Schumacher getting up into P5 now. De Court is on this train. The top 7 in a great scrap for positions here, as Johnson and Sturrock have both got past Varga.
All within a second of each other, and already a little bit of contact in that pack, but nothing too over the edge. And Friedman has a run on Schwab for the lead, looking to the outside here. Can he be late enough on the brakes? Don't think so. Schwab has that inside line and the better grip and holds it there, but still nose to tail, and he has to go defensive into the Schumacher S.
He does indeed. So Friedman at the moment trying to be the aggressor and put the pressure on Schwab, but can't do so. Further in the background though, that looks like Schumacher and Michel are having a little scrap, as Richie Michel running that Maserati. Having a look, can't do it, Matt.
No, Rich, I was actually stuck behind Richie Michel in a little bit of testing last night. I was in a GT3, he was in that, and there's definitely no rust on him. I'm taking a bit of time out.
Oh, Friedman's on the gravel, coming through the quick right-hander.
Richie
Friedman
Michel's
onto
got
the
to move as
gravel.
well.
And Richie Michel looks like he's got the run on Schumacher. No, he doesn't. Fends that one off through the chicane. They go. They both take to the grass a little bit. Schumacher should defend that one pretty easy, and does so. What a battle out front already. And obviously Richie Michel returning into that Pro Gold category this season. We teamed up with Rob Ramsell, I do believe, is the talks and rumours at the moment. He'll be able to race yourself, Langley, and the sandbagger of Matt Wright himself.
Some would say that I've been sandbagging as well. Schumacher deep in the first corner
deep,
and loses 2 positions in the space of 1 corner. Was trying to defend by braking late, I believe, and just over the top on the brakes.
Leger was attacking Friedman in the Mercedes-Benz arena, couldn't do that. Stardog has got John within a second, but John's not really close enough to make a move at the moment. Down in the GT2s, gaps just appearing. Braga is on the back of Mirko Ritchie, and we've got Crack, who's on the back of Horvath. DJ Phil 25 seconds behind the M2, so learning his new steering wheel, coming off that controller and just getting to grips with it, but struggling at the moment is DJ. Richie Michel though, who he's got his sim grid name as Richie Michel Ritchie, so that's why it says RR. It will be down as Richie Michel, don't worry, for the season. But Friedman once again on the back of Schwab, and Mike Matthews has now come onto the back of this quartet up front.
Absolutely amazing fight
at the back as well. Got the run on him down into turn 1.
Who's that? Sorry, Matt.
Braga and Ritchie, P24.
Yeah, there we go. Round the outside goes Braga at the moment. Mirko's got that inside covered. This is bringing Jimenez back in, and Braga breaks earlier. Can't get anything done there. Braga and Varga, that'd be a good team, wouldn't it?
Nearly as good as Wright and White.
Oh, don't. That was a difficult night at Paul Ricard for the Audi event.
Another fun event.
Matt Wright led that race from Matt White in second place. Very confusing. Good job they didn't run the same livery, because otherwise I'd have been lost. Either way, Friedman now leads this race from Schwab, from Leger, from Mike Matthews. You feel now Friedman could just stretch his legs a little bit here, as Leger's going to have a look on Schwab in towards turn 1. Brakes later in the Audi, but he brakes too late. Mike also outbrakes himself, and nearly hits the back of Schwab. So Mike and Leger attacking the KTM crossbow of Schwab there, and can't get that one done. In towards turn
Richie the
number 1.
opportunity to close that gap again as well. And you're coming back to Richie, he was the Pro-Am champion in his last season with us.
Yeah, he wasn't able to do the Pro season, was he? Because of he ordered a new wheel and was waiting for it, but he's also gone from Xbox to PlayStation, so a bit of a change for him.
Nice. Downgraded.
No, he's upgraded, I think you'll find.
Oh, Schwab's off. Schwab's
someone's off.
Oh,
Schwab's off.
What happened, Langers?
I think he just went a bit wide, a little too deep on the brakes, and they're swapping back and forth at the front here. So now I believe that is, who is the Audi? I think Flores on the outside.
That's DeCourt, I believe.
DeCourt, sorry. And was not able to make it done. So that is Schwab down to 5th, I believe.
Yeah, we've dropped back to the M2 battle of that of Mirko, Ricci and Braga. We'll keep our eyes on Goudet, who's actually dropped over the second mark now to Stardog. Stardog being one of the front runners, I think, in Pro-Am this season. Braga gets a good run underneath Mirko Ricci down the start-finish straight towards turn 1. Can he be late on the brakes? He's tucked back into that slipstream. Now he goes to the outside line of Mirko Ricci in towards turn number 1. A fight in the M2s, and this is for 1, 2, 3. This is for 4th in the class. Braga takes the long way around, but Mirko Ricci will hold on to that one. Schwab, like you say, now got to get on the back of DeCourt, and Schumacher's with him, and Schwab's had a moment. I think he tapped the back of DeCourt, and he gets collected by Schumacher, and off he goes. Who was that already into the pit lane? Somebody is coming in the pits. That may be Phil Atherton, I believe, who was on pit road. Yes, it is. It's Phil Atherton in the pits.
We've got to fight for the lead of the M2s.
So
DS
Schwab has
to
got
close a 4.5 second gap.
He came from the back of the grid because getting disqualified in qualifying, so he's done really well. Phil Atherton into the pits with an hour 17 and 50 seconds on the clock at the moment. What a good start to this race. Not really many incidents. A few yellow flags, though, actually, coming through that stadium section. Who is that? That is 32. That's Mirko Ricci. And I believe potentially then Braga. So if them two had a coming together, Ricci's gone slow to let Braga through. So Braga's got past, and now look who's being held up through the corner. Will Friedman, who's got 2 seconds over Leger, has been massively held through turn 6, gets past Ricci, should clear Braga, but where's Leger? He's going to be right on these M2s in the mid-corner section of this stadium bit, of the Dunlop hairpin. And Matt Wright knows all too well about catching cars on a slow corner in a multi-class race at this corner. No, nothing.
Which is that? The Ferrari.
I think it was the Ferrari, yeah, of me.
Yeah. Oh, Mike Matthews has just completely wiped out Braga.
Well, hold on, Mike. Good job. There's no tickets on a fun event, isn't there? But Braga is now off. We have still got the 28 runners. Phil Atherton is back out on circuit, but he's near enough a lap down to his category as well. Benton is still fending off that of Diaz at the moment. Diaz won a couple of pro races towards the back end of last season. Looked pretty good as the season went on. Interested to see what he can do in these M2s.
Yeah, I'm really interested in this overlap already. So about every, I mean, even the GT4s are going to eventually overlap the M2s, but about every 10 or about every 12-13 minutes we're going to get this overlap.
Minutes.
Benny Varga has just gone side by side with Schwab. A little bit of contact turning into the chicane. Varga went off, and that's allowed Flores through as well. Where is Mezin? So Mezin, just for reference, is just coming onto the back part of the circuit now. The leader in the M2s is just at turn 5 and 6. So already near enough half a lap between the GT4s and the M2s. But like I say, every 17 minutes, the GT2s should lap the BMW M2. So that's going to be an interesting one to keep our eyes on. Matthews on the podium, trying to hunt down Patrick Leger. Schumacher's gaining on DeCourt. We've got Flores trying to attack the back of Schwab. And then Stardog now has got Goudet within a half a second. He's gone a little deep at the chicane. So does Goudet. They both make a mess of that one. And onto the grass they both went. That could allow Cummins to try and catch them in your beloved old car, Matt, the LP.
Oh, it's a fantastic car. That's fantastic. You can chuck it round. It doesn't have the speed, but through the corners, it's brilliant, brilliant car. Shame it doesn't have the speed to it, because otherwise it'd be a deadly car around the track.
Oh, here comes John Goudet looking up the inside of Stardog, gives him a wide berth, and Goudet up the inside. He's got to give that Chevrolet a big wide berth, the biggest GT4 car on the grid. So Goudet now moves up into third in class. He's got to close down some 7 seconds to get onto the back of his former teammate Hibbs. This time around, Diaz still on the back of Benton. These two having a great little scrap in the for the lead of the M2s. They're 6 seconds clear of the next M2 car, who's just about to be lapped by Patrick Leger, except he's being lapped at the wrong part, because as he goes wide, that's allowed Mike to really creep onto the back of Patrick Leger now. And if Mike gets a good run out the final corner, which he kind of didn't, he stayed too tight. He's going to try and stick in that slipstream. Half a second though now. Schumacher still on the back of De Court as they come down the start-finish straight. Johnson has got Sturrock with him, and they're about to lap Crack in his M2. And the KTM, probably the nicest looking GT2 out there, if you ask me. Yeah, Goudet pulling away from Stardog just a little bit, but that battle for the lead of the M2s rages on, as they've only just been the leaders of M2, have only just been lapped by Friedman, so it shows how far ahead of the rest of the field they are. But it's a good little scrap at the front of M2s, and I know Clouden, who's in the chat, he likes the KTM. He's a big lover of the KTM. Loves an LMP3 apparently, Langley, as well.
Yeah, loves an LMP3, and I'll tell you what, these GT2s have been quite lucky with the M2s, because they're a bit spaced out. Might not be as lucky when they get to the GT4s, but because there is a bit of racing in the pack of the GT4s right now. I mean, Goudet and Stardog are quite close to each other, and Cummins right behind them. Yeah, the M2s were already quite spread out, which kind of helped the GT2s get through them pretty easily, and they're still dealing with them, but still. If they were all packed up, it would have been a nightmare to try to get through.
Well, Richie Michel's just fancied a nightmare through the Schumacher Estes as DS got into a bit of a slide,
just like that,
and couldn't get past him there. Langley, what car was you in when we run the GT4s a few seasons ago?
The GT4 season?
Yeah.
Didn't do it, I don't think.
No, the first time I did GT4s was when it was all Ginettas.
Ginetta.
There we go then. No Ginettas on the grid tonight.
Shame.
This is going to be not really. Had enough of them through that season. I know me and Rob won the constructors, but you just kind of get a bit fed up of a one-car series, don't you? This is why we've gone back to the full class of GT4s this year, in which there'll be no Matt Wright. I don't think there's going to be a Langley. There's going to be no me on the grid. And,
I might do a race or two, just haven't decided yet. Yeah. Or I might help out with commentating.
Oh, what a guy. We love Langers in the box. He's brought us fantastic coverage this season. And,
we nearly just had another collision. Schumacher just underestimating the speed of the GT2 out of the corner, nearly going into the back of the M2 leader of Benton. But just avoided it and made his way through cleanly.
That would have been interesting.
But it's a great, another dimension to racing, isn't it? This traffic, navigating the traffic, having the patience, and over 90 minutes as well. Like we were saying, if they're going to lap every 12, 13 minutes, it's going to be a lot of traffic to deal with.
And I said to Mike, funnily enough, off air, I said I think we should have done the launch line in this multi-class, because that would be brilliant. The M2s may have done a lap, but that would have been an interesting race to see. They wouldn't have had to deal with the traffic as much, that's for sure. Stardog sticking to the back of Goudet here a little bit in GT4. So good to see Stardog keeping the fight on John Goudet. Good to see John Goudet back on the SimPlay channel out there on the circuit. Obviously he did the Pro-Coms he did the Pro-Coms at the end of the season, with Kelly being in New Zealand. Chris in the chat saying we're still having Kelly and Duffin on a Thursday. No, Kelly's taking a season out. He's got a project on with Audio Sport, so he's taking a season out. So yeah, we're a bit thin on the ground for commentators, Chris. If you fancy it, get involved.
You're a bit too nice with the Nordschleifer, because they wouldn't be. I would have thought of probably one of the smaller tracks on the calendar.
We should have done Alton Park.
Oh my god!
Could you imagine lapping these cars around Alton Park?
Oh my goodness, that would have been a fun event. Maybe not for the drivers, but definitely for
too
us.
sure, yeah.
We would have had a good time, that's for sure. I'm sure of it. Coming down the Nurburgring start straight, then Mike's on the back of Patrick Leger. Flores gaining on Schwab a little bit. In fact, no, he's actually lost 9/10 of a second
I
to
think
Schwab.
he's just caught a little bit of traffic.
Not too good there. What's happening with Benton and Diaz? Benton's actually got a 2-second gap to Diaz now, so maybe the traffic has played in Benton's favour. And this is the thing with multi-class racing over a 90-minute race, is it will sometimes work out in your favour, but it will also go against you later on.
Yeah, that's just where the patience comes into it, doesn't it?
Did we lose Stardog? Or...
Nope, still got... Oh, no, we may have...
We have.
Because there was a pack of the GT4.
Yeah, no, we are. We are
GT4
down to 27
cars.
drivers, yeah, because there's 3 spectators. That's in the M4 there. Is that a little indication for next season right here? I noticed you're in the BMW on the spectator seat. Is that an indication for next
it's
season?
just... I just found it in the pit lane, jumped in it.
Yeah, nice. Langley's possibly sticking that far. I'm telling you, Langley gets that wheel on the console. I think he'll be an interesting person to watch. You've been seeing him on Le Mans Ultimate these last couple of days, and he looks pretty quick out there at the moment. Jamal says Alton Park next in the chat. Jamal, if we do Alton Park multi-class race, you've got to do it. That's the deal. So where are we? Mezin's 40. Mezin's nearly a full sector behind Benny Varga here. He's 40 seconds behind as Benny Varga now goes through sector 1. So that shows where the last place GT2 car to the first place GT4 car is. And then in fact, Mike's just lapped Rob Smith. So we are now lapping GT4s. Where's Rob Smith? He's down in 17th. He's third from last in that GT4 category. So, but this is going to be the interesting side of this, Langley, isn't it? Because like you said, that mental factor of a 90-minute race. Can Mike keep up this pressure of Leger for the next hour and 8 minutes when he'd already be going 22?
Yeah, there's no reason to be desperate and make a move. And what I'm starting to realize is that these GT4s are catching to the back of this M2 pack. I think by the time they start lapping each other, as in the GT4s on the M2s, the GT2s might be back around again. So we're going to get triple overlap.
Well, let's see. Where is last place in GT2 in the M2? That is Braga. He's at the Dunlop hairpin, just about to be lapped by Hips. So the GT4s have started to lap the M2s now. And where's Will Friedman? He's on his way down to the Dunlop hairpin. So he's not far behind the last place man of M2s at the moment. Only fight on the circuit that's close enough so far is Mike and Leger. But that's not really a fight at the moment. Leger, new wheel towards the back end of last season. Mike, new pedals. Leger's got the upper hand, I think, with having a bit more testing in that wheel. As it goes, Jamal says done deal. Well, there we go then, lads. Fun event for next season. Alton Park multi-class. 90-minute race. Boom. Job done.
I'm busy that day.
And GT4s.
You sure you don't want to jump in the comms box, Righty? That could be the best thing.
It's a possibility.
It's a possibility, yeah, damn right.
Can you only do 3 classes?
Start getting into it.
No, you can do more than 3 classes.
Ooh, so we could do GT2s, 3s, 4s, M2s. If you wanted to make it as chaotic as possible.
Or just chuck the Porsche Cups in there with no traction control and ABS. Just chuck them in there as well.
We'd end up with 3 cars in each category.
Put a poll out. While there's not much happening out there at the moment, let's talk about Pro next season, because the Pro grid is strong as well. Mike, don't type and race. You can't type and race, Mike. That's dangerous. We spoke about the Pro grid looking strong, but the Pro field looks a good one. And again, I'm not going to name the new drivers because we don't know what they can do, but no MSA and no Dan Davis. So Ball Overtaker, who won the last season of Project Cars 2, season 8 of Project Cars 2 many years ago. You've got Mike, Ken stepping up. That could be an interesting one. Ben Ruck, Radic, McGowan, Vitas, gold champion obviously stepping up. Skunky, Leger, Friedman makes a return. Overtaker, Schmidt, Komel, Mezin, and then Rozalski. The others are new drivers that I'm not going to mention because we don't really know their pace. Anybody's game in that one, and we've got De Munster as a platinum reserve. It could be anybody's championship next season.
I really think with the way he performed at the end of last season, I think Rosalski has the best chance in that championship for sure. Especially, is he in the BMW again?
No, he's posted his livery.
Changed.
I'll message you because I don't want to give anything away on stream at the moment. I'll message you. But he's changed to that I've just texted you. So interesting to see his change of choice. I don't know whether that's going to be a good move as Schwab has a look at the inside of Sturrock into the Dunlop hairpin. KTM versus KTM going side by side. Schwab gets the move done. He's back up into P8. 4 seconds now to Johnson. He has to try and find. So yeah, I'm interested in that choice, Langley, that I've just sent you. Matt obviously knows what it is as well. I think that's an interesting choice.
But the rumours coming from the Momentum boys is that he's actually quicker in it than he is in his M4.
Oh yeah, okay, it's wraps. Just start making the trophy, Mike. I don't know what else to say with that. He was already rapid enough in the BMW. Faster.
I think there's guys out there that Friedman returning.
Yeah,
he's got great pace. I think. A standout driver for me last season was Schmidt.
Yep.
I think he was very consistent. Was he? Where did he finish in the championship? It was quite high, wasn't he? Was he P4 or something like that?
Yeah, 4th or 5th. I don't know if Dan pipped him at Donington or not, but 4th or 5th, yeah.
I think with him now having his first taste of it from last season, he knows what the pace is up there. He knows that he needs to find a little bit more, and it could well be hard graft in this off season to find those extra tenths.
Well, I said I wasn't going to say it on the stream. Keynes has just posted it in the chat. He's taking the Lambo and he's faster in it. He's just said in the chat. So there you go, chat. You know what he's taking, huh? And then we look at that Gold Championship. Again, bar the new drivers that we don't know a lot about at the moment. You've got Captain Sandbags of Matt Wright, John Wainwright stepping up from Pro-Am to Pro. Cardno returns. Rob Ramsell come back in his Ferrari. That could be interesting. Butcher, Benny Varga, Pro-Am champion stepping up. Maiga from the Who Darren Cup, he's entered. Class, that could be interesting. Gillies, change of car for him. Manavola looks a good one. Harris, that could be a real one to watch. So could Hibbs. Richie Michelle making the return, as we said. DeCourt coming into Pro could be an interesting one. Stothard's making the step up. Kowiak, Jimenez, Messino, Langers himself, and then Castro. It's a solid pro grid as well. It will be tough to pick a winner out of that lot.
That's a lot of gold drivers. I just am now realizing that. That is a lot of gold drivers.
22 gold, 18 platinum
22,
at the minute.
Yeah.
With 4 gold reserves. I didn't even get into the gold reserves. It was gold reserve at the minute. Where are they?
4 gold reserve. That's an extra one there.
Rob Smith is a gold reserve, and then 3 new drivers. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what these drivers are going to
do. Those gold names that you mentioned, and I'm realizing out of most the classes, I think gold might have the most return drivers, as in they've raced in SimPlay before.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm just looking at the car choices. There's no real any shock car choice at the minute. Nobody's gone a Jaguar or something that far-fetched. There is an Audi. I can see that one of the new drivers, Van der Ven, has picked the Audi.
Are you daring me?
You're holding out for that Bentley, aren't you?
I am holding out for that Bentley. No, I'm not daring you because I want to see you on that wheel and I want to see you drive like an absolute beast.
Everyone wants me on wheel now.
I think they do, yeah. I'm just looking at Pro-Am. There's a Nissan on the grid. I'm not going to say who for. There's a Mercedes on the grid. Again, we've seen the Nissan and we've seen the Mercedes in previous seasons. There is a Bentley in Pro-Am, but he's a reserve driver. Shame. And I'm just going through a lot of BMWs in Pro-Am this season. Not seeing many McLarens. Yeah, again, no real standout surprise car for me in this season.
We've got a couple of guys coming into pit now. Only 29 minutes gone. I wonder whether that's
Michael Johnston and Cherry Moore both into the pit lane.
Damage, or just an early pit stop.
Very early. You can make it. You can definitely make it, but you're gonna have a heavy car and very.
I wonder if that's their tactic. Maybe pit, change tyres, do your stop, and then go. I'm just looking at Mike Matthews' stream.
But
he's still got
the downside to that, with there being an hour left, you'll be so heavy on fuel that the people still on track, that there's gonna be you're going to be forever losing time in my eyes. So yeah, she will have fresh tires, which will help cancel out the heavy fuel. But everyone still on track is going to be lighter fuel, and once they pit, they'll be on fresher tires than the people that have already pitted.
Yeah.
So it is a stretch. I would say around the 55-minute mark or even 50-minute mark be worth the risk. It's just, it's a long time to make those tires last.
Jerry Moore is on the grass on the start-finish straight just before turn 1. He's not sure what's happened there. He's also left the pits and maybe caught the grass on exit.
He was very slow on exit because there was cars coming past, so I don't know if he's been hit there, so hopefully Jerry Moore can recover that one. Mike and Leger getting a bit close. I'm just on Mike's stream at the moment. He's got 12 laps of fuel left, so that'll be at least, what, another 20 minutes or so?
I think we've lost Jerry Moore. He's gone.
Yeah, we're down to the 26 drivers, so that's
maybe
a shame for them too.
Maybe it was a wheel issue when he came out.
We've got a battle in GT4, and this is for second and third to last place in GT4, 16th and 17th overall. Rob Smith versus Unique, and Rob Smith looking up the inside, gets a little slidey in that Chevrolet, holds on to it well, but has just got to... He is indeed, he's just got to keep hold of it though and try and get past Unique now. Rocking that lovely Mercedes-Benz livery, and obviously the Mercedes-Benz AMG GT4. Beautiful car. Beautiful, beautiful car.
There's been champions in that, isn't there?
There has been champions in that. Yours truly was one. I think there was... Who else? I'm sure somebody else has won in it as well. We're down to 25 drivers now, so we have lost another. Not sure who that one is. That's a shame to see some drivers retiring. Who Darren Cup, though, still many a seat left open for that. But let's go through the bronze drivers in Who Darren Cup at the moment. Rob Smith, Gareth Anderson, Tipping makes his return. Privet in that one. Neil Broom, Cherry Moore, as well as a few new faces in that one. Any reserve drivers in bronze? Yep, Johnny Crack makes his reserve. That could go any way, and I'm looking at the Gareth Anderson, Rob Smith sort of area, maybe even Broom. Depending on what these new drivers can do, I think Gareth Anderson stands a good chance of winning that championship.
Yeah, Tippin's a champion or not a champion because he didn't count that season, but he was top of the bronze when he raced 2 seasons ago.
You sounded so bitter about
that. Because he could actually say he had a title to his name, but he can't.
He also didn't have a podium to his name last season, did he, Langers? You had to carry the team, if I remember.
Oh, yeah. He tries to claim that M2 one where none of us were racing, so...
Oh, Matt, you take some crap now, let's be honest. The silver full-time drivers, Rob Ramsell, Miga, Benny Varga, Jamie Lee, and then Pete Marsden obviously winning bronze, making that step up into silver. And the silver reserves of Millington Gillies, Dan Taylor makes his return, Alistair Cummins, and a new driver of Matt McMillan. Again, you look at that silver class, Miga for me is the standout driver in that one.
Yeah, I think he has a very good shot. We'll see how Kneebone gets along in the silver class, making his return. He was, if he can keep himself out of incidents, he can have a very good shot at being up there. I think Sam, honestly, we need to look at Sam as well. Is his consistency better than last season? Because honestly, if his consistency is better, I don't see what's stopping him. He was arguably the quickest driver in Pro-Am last season with multiple pole positions, and I'm watching this last place. Saw that last place fight in GT4s, and yeah, Rob Smith loses a place to Unique. Now in last place in GT4s is Rob Smith. But yeah, Sam was arguably the fastest driver on that Pro-Am field, but his consistency, and he had some wheel issues, which it just held him back. He finally got the monkey off his back in the last race of the season, picking up that feature race win. And if he can get the consistency down, it was almost like, I mean, even Benny Varga the season before was pretty consistent. Gave Vitas and I
just had to interrupt this, guys. Mike Mathew right on the back side of Leger, just gone through traffic. It's held up a little bit.
Just gone onto the rear wing of Patrick Leger there. Mike did get very close. And you're right, Langley, in what you say.
He's managed to pull away.
I'm also looking at, though, Langley, Gabino. potential. Stardog obviously making the drop down. Can De Block be a bit more consistent through the season? Flores is back. Dronelander and Lino, can them two step it up another notch? You've then got the likes of Sam Greaves going back in that BMW. Mirko Ricci coming back as well. He's another guy. Wolski, Gary Leach, as we've said. Competizione, keep up that performance he had. He could easily take points off of people. Millington, Taylor, Nebo. All drivers that I think could do a little bit of something here or there.
I think it's worth pointing out that, yeah, he was constantly top 10.
P2 in quali as well at Donington.
Yeah, he was flying.
Overall,
he was absolutely flying.
Yeah, final race of the season. So can he continue?
It's going to be interesting.
Found stable ground in that Lexus last season, and yeah, I think it's worth pointing out what Lino was P2 in the championship last year, correct?
He was, yeah.
So it's worth pointing that out, that in a championship that was very close if you take out the man who won it.
Anderson
that
side by side
fourth,
with Jimenez, he's had to back out. Sorry, Langley, carry on.
Yeah, that second, third, fourth, fifth area was all very close to each other. So he was the head of that small pack right there. So it's worth pointing out that he was second and he's still in the same class.
Another driver with a win to his name as well last season. One of the 7 different drivers.
I think it was
8 feature race winners, and he was one of them. Yeah.
And if
so
you look at that,
he's got the pace.
If you look at that Pro-Am Championship, obviously Stoffard, Wainwright showed their pace. They've got pace enough to be in Pro. Varga's got them. Lino only finished 29 points clear of Gabino, who was third. Williams was only 4 points behind Gabino. Wolski was only 18 points behind Williams. Millington only 56 behind, but Millington I think missed 2 rounds or so. Gary missed a couple of rounds. Gary and Millington just sort out their consistency. All of a sudden, that 2nd to 7th all of a sudden looks a lot tighter. If you take out, I'm just looking at the tables from last year, you take out from the top 10 Benny Varga, Stoffard and Wainwright, that top 7 looks really tight from 2nd to 7th. Taylor was 10th and he was some 55 points behind Leach. If Taylor could find an extra bit of pace, he puts himself in contention. Dronelander was down in 13th place, but I think he's got pace. He just didn't show the best consistency at times. Unsworth, same for him.
Greaves.
Greaves as well to block.
Greaves goes straight into the top 10 once he's in that BMW.
I think so.
I think Wolski is very... We overlook Wolski so often, but how often last season did we just see him top 3 or on the podium, top 5, just not really around other people and just driving his own race? So it is a good shout for anyone who was in that 2nd to 10th range, really, to be in if they can, especially early in the season, who's going to pick up that early race win? Who's going to be the first somewhat unexpected winner to rattle off some big points, gain a lead, and then just consistent results from then on out? And
that's the thing that we saw last season, Langley, wasn't it? Obviously, I think back to Imola with Wolski, who was, I think he was 1st or 2nd for a while. Sam had a moment, and Gary was charging. Imola was so good for the BMW. Gary was flying. And Wolski had just kind of quiet. We saw Gary fighting with Williams for a little bit. And then Williams had a moment. I can't remember if it was his wheel that let him down or whatever. But Gary then passed Williams with ease. And then all of a sudden, Wolski had just... We quietly noticed that Wolski was actually on the podium. I think he was leading the race at the time. And Gary ended up catching him and passing him. But we did underappreciate, I think, what Wolski did last season, because he quietly... I think it's them quiet drivers that you don't notice at times that go about their business and sneak up onto the podium that do well. And when you look at that calendar, you say there about that early win and then the consistency. Think back to Benny Varga. Won the opening 2 rounds at Alton Park, and then I don't think had another race win till the back half of the season, but was consistency was like the lowest of P4 at the time, or maybe P5. You look at these first couple of rounds, you've got the Hungaroring opener, 2 qualifying sessions, that's 2 points on offer, as well as, a circuit that's difficult to overtake on after the first sector. You've then got Brands Hatch, Oh, as contact made there, Unique has just got into the side of one of the M2s. Was that the leader of Benton? No, it was not. Trying to figure, it was Mirko Ritchie who's made contact with, so that's allowed Rob Smith to come past quite easily. Cummins has been bringing the gap down to Goudet. That's now 0.8 of a second there. So Cummins trying to charge onto the back of John Goudet here. Back to the Anderson and Jimenez fight. Mike's now 2 seconds behind Leger. But yeah, we'll keep our eyes on this Jimenez-Anderson, Anderson-Jimenez battle. But you look at Brands Hatch, difficult to overtake. And then you've got race 3. That 90-minute mental fatigue, physical fatigue race of Kyle Army. Great overtaking opportunities, but you've got to keep yourself focused for 90 minutes. Them first 3 rounds are tricky races.
Thing that I'm thinking of, I wonder what some drivers' mindsets will be for that 90-minute race, because it offers the same amount of points, right?
No, so the points will be times by 1.5.
Okay.
So you won't get double points for basically the sprint feature.
Great fight at the moment with Goudet and Cummins just making their way through traffic, and Cummins closing the gap, but Goudet with that straight line speed down there.
Yeah, they've just lapped the fight of Jimenez and Anderson. Jimenez got it all out of shape out the final corner, and that's put Braga, who's a lap down to these guys, on the back of them to try and unlap himself. But yeah, good little fight here between Goudet and Cummins.
It's getting run. Look at the size difference. It's almost like a half-scale model, isn't it? That Alpine. It's tiny
to the
compared
Chevrolet. Yeah.
I was thinking of possibly bringing the Dale Earnhardt Chevy to the grid, and I thought Tanner might as well next season. So we'll see.
Oh, an all-American lineup.
Well,
this is where the Alpine's going to be strong through these corners here. Can he get on the?
No teams in GT4 in GT4s,
oh, yeah,
but
true.
but a Chevy with that black and red number 3. So we'll see.
So for a race win, you'll score 127.5 points in the 90-minute races for next season. So really, that Kyle Army race, that's a good chunk of points. You think about the reverse grid races. You take Hungaroring out the equation. You think about them reverse grid races. You want to try and, if you're trying to win the championship, you want to try and win that feature race, get the maximum 85 points, and you're trying to limit what you can score in that first race, aren't you? So let's be honest. You might score more than 127, you might not. That 90-minute race being one off, that 127.5 points is huge for what you can achieve.
I think that 90-minute race as well, it promotes conservative mindset at the start. Very easygoing, try to keep your nose clean. Everyone, we'll see if that's the case, but with the points, especially at the front end of the grid, like what is the points gap between first and second? Because that is multiplied by 1.5. So the points gaps are bigger as they go down. So later in the race, it might be worth to make that lunge or to make that risky move. So I think it's very good in the fact that it'll promote possibly a cleaner race start, but more aggressive battles toward the end of the race.
So you score 118.5, so you lose 9 points from first to second for the 90-minute races. At the minute, you only lose 6, so it's an extra 3 points your rival can gain over you.
Yeah, so with the points gaps being bigger up and down the grid, I think towards the end of the race, people might be a bit more aggressive.
It's going to be worth making those places.
Yeah,
but yeah, like you say, you go. Everyone starts a race with the mindset of, I'm going to sit, I'm going to bide my time, make the moves when they're available, but then.
Sorry to interrupt. I think Richie Michelle's the first of the GT2s to pit here.
Yeah, I believe. No, Johnson came in earlier, didn't he? So he is
true.
Second of those to pit, 46 minutes in. Goudet still got Cummins just behind him by 0.8 of a second. But you're right, Matt. The other interesting thing is you've got 3 mindsets to have next season: a sprint, an hour long, and 2 90-minute races to have. So you've really got to be alert as to what week you're on, as to what strategy you go. A lot of drivers in now. DeCourt in, Mezin in, Crack also into the pits. So drivers starting to make their stops halfway
doing
through
straight 50-50 split.
Great strategy though. Great strategy for these guys.
Yeah, because now for the people that pitted, 15 minutes ago. You're going to be equal fuel as the ones coming out of the pits, but worse tires.
And the traffic.
I think the thing to look at is your traffic as well, isn't it? In this, if you can get another lap in, 2 laps, without hitting traffic, it's going to be worth staying out, because you could cost yourself quite a few seconds, couldn't you, getting stuck in traffic in this.
I'm looking forward to next week's race, because obviously we've got the Porsche Cup that is great through the corners, the Trofeo, which is pretty good all round, and the Ferrari Challenge has got great straight line speed. I don't think we're going to see much lapping. I think the racing between all 3 cars, we saw it when we did the event here a couple of seasons ago, Matt, that event was
the most frustrating race of my life, that was.
Why is that?
Well, I just had this very annoying Ferrari in front of me that was terrible through the corners. I mean, the guy didn't even look like the guy had ever been on the track before. But I'd pull the acceleration out of the exit of the corner. I'd get halfway down the straight, and then the Ferrari would end up in front of me again by the time I got to the corner, and I'd spend another lap behind.
I'm tasting some salt right now.
Loads of salt, not a proper championship, doesn't count. No, it's not a criticism though, right, is it? It's not a criticism.
Someone get the sea salt shaker out.
And yeah, if you haven't figured it out, Duffin was the person in the Ferrari.
that's why he's so salty about it. And if I remember rightly, wasn't we fighting Fury, Joseph Bates in the Porsche Cup as well? So it was like one Trofeo, one Porsche Cup, and one Ferrari Challenge.
Yeah, Fury was he was there for a while. I think, before he lost it and spun.
He was dancing around a few corners, wasn't he? In the
it was getting the back end out. He's skating his way around the circuit.
That was certainly interesting to watch while we was catching him, and he didn't last much longer than that. Yeah, really interested to see what's going to happen next week. Join us live for that one. That'll be live next Wednesday, so make sure you join us live for that one. That'll be an interesting one. I'll be in the box. I don't know who's going to join me in the box for that one, but it'll be a good race nonetheless. Hibbs is in the pits, Mezin's pitted, so now Goudet, who's just run a little onto the grass, is fending off Cummins now for what will be the lead of GT4 until them two make their pit stops. They've got Johnson lapping them, who's down in 10th, and then Friedman about to lap them, who is in first place. Now, is this the first time Friedman has lapped them too? No, it'll be the second time that he's lapped him as he comes past Cummings now. And John Goudet, is he going to give Friedman a wide berth? He thinks about it. Cummings is going to try and follow Friedman through here. I don't think he's going to. I think he's backed out of that one. But Goudet there just caught in 2 minds, and that's what you've got to love about multi-class racing, because now look at Cummins right on the rear of John Goudet, who thinks about looking up the inside. Goudet chops the nose off there and says no thank you. Cummins,
it's interesting with the 2 of them staying out. I feel like an early pit from Cummins. Well, not an early pit, but getting the pit first, but then it depends.
I do
leaves it in Goudet's hand there to cut him off.
The overcut is better depending on tire wear. If your tires are in good shape, it's better to run on the lower fuel for as long as you can. And good point. I believe it's the same for all these classes. No tire warmers.
Yeah.
All 3 of these classes, no tire warmers. So.
And the thing you've got to think of here is, you say the undercut might work, but you've also got to think of what happens if you get caught up in traffic, because that could really.
He's in the pit. This would be interesting.
Yeah, who's Richie Michel's pitted, hasn't he? So let's see where Richie Michel comes towards Mike. Mike's off the limiter now. Richie's only just coming to the final corner, so that's not going to happen there. Can Schwab stay ahead?
Does Leger come in this lap now to cut off that undercut?
Leger's got a bit of traffic as well of Mezin in front, who is third now.
No slouch.
No slouch, but is in a car 10 seconds slower. Pretty easily done there from Leger.
Mike is going to catch this traffic as well, right ahead of them.
Oh, that's
going into the
twos. Yeah, who is that? There's the 1, 2, 6.
Speaking of Cummins and Goudet, Cummins is on his way into the pits.
Right, so Cummins pits before Goudet. Crack brakes really early and allows Mike Matthews to have that inside line. So Crack straight out the way. Mike's next target is the 95 Anderson, who might just be a little bit too far up the road for Mike to catch down towards this straight. So yeah, he is. He's well in front. So Mike may catch Anderson here mid Schumacher S's. Let's take a look.
Yeah, let's see if he can get by cleanly. It's gonna be right there, and he just gets up the inside. I
Our leader
was
in the
gonna
pit.
say, yeah, Friedman in the pits. He was in front though by
9
Yeah.
seconds.
15
Yeah.
seconds. He was, I
yeah.
think.
He's got ahead of Schwab, didn't he? And hasn't looked back.
I was
Jay
gonna
stays
say,
out.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd be a very annoying backmarker because
Oh, Decourt and Schwab right on each other. So where's this fight come from?
yeah, right out the. Did one of them pit early? I forgot. Didn't Schwab pit a bit earlier?
I can't remember, to be honest with you.
So sure. Yeah, Decourt has pitted.
Yeah. The thing is, I
he's
feel like
heavily
I'd be a
pitted.
very annoying backmarker because in my mind it's you have to pass me. I don't have to get out the way for you. And honestly, that's they've hit each other. They've hit each other. Schwab goes to the middle of the track just to
Sure, what
kind of
happened there?
slightly defend, and it looked like Decourt just drove straight into the back of him. Looks like there's a car at
It
the
was Phil
entry to the
Atherton.
pits.
Yeah, he was off.
DJ Phil there.
Yeah, having a bit of a bad day. Learning the wheel. And we'll see what he can do. Mike didn't get past Will Friedman, so Mike is way behind Will Friedman. Friedman's at the Dunlop hairpin. Mike's only at turn 5.
Good aim making his
And
way.
Lachey in the pits
He's
now.
stayed out.
So we'll we'll see if Leger staying out that extra lap or two will keep him ahead of Mike. We'll see.
I think it should. I think he had Mike a couple of seconds behind him, didn't he? And that
It
will
was a
cover
couple of
that
seconds,
one
but
off.
he's. I don't know whether Mike's been caught up in any traffic though. Leger was in traffic, so
Well, if I'm Mike and if he has the full track map loaded on his screen, he'll see the 3 GT4s that he is catching and will probably catch at the early part of the next lap. If I'm Mike, I'm possibly thinking of diving in now before that. No, sorry, Mike's already pitted, hasn't he? Apologies.
Mike's
ignore me.
pitted. Yeah. The
yes.
one thing annoying with the no mandatory pit.
Yeah, the
you
no
can't-
mandatory pit stop, you forget who's pitted or not. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting one to keep our eyes on. Schwab and Decourt still going at it. They're trying to lap Jimenez. Cummings gaining on the back of Unique at the moment, but I've not seen Unique or Rob Smith into the pits. So we'll see
Richie
what they
Michelle
can do.
about to make a move on Benny Varga. Benny Varga just he loves that Porsche. It is probably one of the worst GT2 cars. But Benny Varga is not pitted yet. Richie Michelle looking into the last corner, very late on the brakes. That's a bit of a dive, a bit of a
He's
door
definitely
slam.
he's definitely one that's out there for a good time, isn't he, Varga? Let's see, jagged you were the other night.
He's
This car now.
signed into the Quantum livery for next season with Langers.
Yes, yeah. New driver, new teammate.
Upgraded teammate.
Two pro-am champions.
Oh dear, that's brilliant. Upgraded teammate. Hey, it's a strong pairing. They teamed together in the 6 hours of Watkins Glen. If you remember back to the pre-season fun event of last season, they teamed together in the fun event there, 6 hours of Watkins Glen. We've done an event in Langley, 24 hours of Silverstone with Benny Varga, who was pretty quick then in the Ford Mustang. And yeah, I think Benny's a good teammate.
Through the trial. He went through the trials in that race. We put him out on track in the hottest conditions, and the tires were screaming for help, and he kept the car on track. So,
close the brake ducts for the night stint, and it really affected poor Benny Varga at the hottest time of the night.
Yeah, so no fault of to his own, but did very good for his stint. And yeah, I'm glad I got a teammate with a little bit of race win and championship experience now. So
yeah, championship winner. Yeah.
Oh dear. Mike put a photo in the admin chat the other day. He put the photo on for the trophies that he's making for the last 2 seasons. Right, his first comment. Where's my gold one? Oh, just so dear, can't believe it. Right, John Goudet's into the pits.
Some say the most impressive gold win as well. With the
you mean with 15 drivers on the grid?
the caliber of the drivers, you know.
Caliber.
You had Mike Matthews in gold, who's now a platinum driver.
you've said
You
it
had
all.
Leger,
Missed the
you had
race.
Leger
Missed the
in
race.
gold,
Missed the race.
who's in platinum driver. You got Skunky in gold, who's now a platinum driver.
Cummins has just got past Unique, but John Goudet is well clear of Cummins. Cummins still got to get past that of Rob Smith, which begs the question, chaps. Did Goudet take tyres and Cummins... did Goudet not take tyres, but Cummins did? Is that why he's a little further behind John Goudet now? Because that could really be interesting come the end of the next 35 minutes.
It is... it's not
He's just come out the pits.
scorching hot. Yeah, it's not scorching hot, but I'd be surprised.
No. I think Cummins has just been held up in traffic. I think he's just been a bit unlucky.
Mike Mathews
he's also not just traffic for him. He was actually behind other GT4s, wasn't he? So you know, it's not just a simple overtake. He's probably lost quite a bit of time behind Unique.
Leger's still warming up these tires. Yeah. Mike on the back of him, and he's going to catch traffic in the Schumacher S right here. He's got to go around the outside. It might give Mike a run now. He's going to look to the outside. Leger defends. He's going to have the inside. Mike cannot hold it around the outside, but yeah, they're nose to tail now.
Well, these two are teammates last season, and you could arguably say Mike's made a downgrade in teammate for this season. You've probably guessed who it is. But yeah, these two was teammates on the circuit last season for the SimPlay Racing team, and yeah, Wright has come into the commentary box and just been bullied.
I've just received a message saying that scheduled maintenance on my internet, so unfortunately I'm going to have to go.
Oh dear. But normally Argent that gets some banter from us on a night time playing FIFA, but you tonight, right? Here we go, Mike. Heck of a run down into turn one. Oh, they've touched a little bit. Yeah, they've touched a little bit. They both go deep. And if I know Leger and Mike, they'll both be complaining to each other on the headset chat they'll be in. Mike would have gave him an almighty shout.
I just parked it there. I think Mike was going to think about it, and then Leger just left the car there. So
yeah, I was going to say, I know Mike listens to these streams. I think that was more on him than Leger. Leger was on the inside, held his line. Mike a bit indecisive.
I agree.
Still love you though, Mike.
Fully agree with you. Still love you. Please don't keep me on the team. Oh, brilliant. Oh, brilliant. Right, Mike's looking the better driver at the moment. Looks like his car's obviously up to temperature and the tyres are up to where they need to be. And Leger just still trying to switch them on. It has actually dropped a degree in this race. I thought it was going to get warmer.
Going down
the Mike! Oh, he's tapped him round!
Again.
Oh, and he's hit him in the side door! Where's Richie Michelle in all this? He's coming towards the Dunlop hairpin. These boys have got to get a move on. Mike waits for him to go. Leger has got back going. And Mike Mathews there, this new brake pedal, well, get it out the way in the fun events because you've got to get it sorted. Oh, no, he's getting close to the M2 of Mirko, Richie. Oh,
him and his attacking Anderson as well down in the M2s. Right on, pushing him around the corners.
Yeah, they've just made a bit of contact there as well.
Can't find a way through.
Michael, I'm sure that'll be a bit of banter with Mike tonight. Oh, and there's his tapped Anderson. He waits. And all this is happening while Crack is being allowed to catch up onto the back. He is a lap down, though, sadly.
This goes back to what Langley was saying at the start of the race as well. 90 minutes, you know, we'd have 2 minutes left of the race if this was our 60-minute. You know, people starting to get frustrated.
So what are we thinking? Mike's not got the mental fatigue to last 90 minutes?
Well, I mean, Mike spins twice in a 60-minute race.
You put the words out there. We didn't. You can deal with that one.
I will deal with that one. I say it how it is. It's my job. That's why I get paid. I have to say it how it is. I ain't going to sugarcoat
around. You don't get paid for this one.
Oh, yeah, the YouTube channel makes money now, so technically I do.
Oh, and Cummins is back behind Unique as well. So I wonder what's happened there.
Big bucks, 2p an hour. 2p an hour, 2 cents an hour, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, big bucks here. Yeah, Unique is back behind Cummins. So Cummins hasn't had the rub of the green, has he, since his pit stop in this race? Sorry, Cummins hasn't had the rub of the green, has he?
Unique back in behind Cummins. Cummins back behind Unique.
Right, yeah, sorry, yeah, thank you, right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm not professional either.
He's getting his own shots in now, look at him.
Jimenez again, right on the back of Anderson's.
Great
battle with...
he's off! He's off!
Too close.
He's well off. That's allowed
Was
Crack
trying
to
to go
unlap
through
himself. He's managed to keep it out the wall as Jimenez, so good job from him there. And yeah, off the track he goes, rejoins nice and safely just before Friedman comes along. But yeah, Jimenez has just got a little close.
I don't think that battle's over with his pace. I think he'll get.
No.
Or has he lost 3.8?
Still 30 minutes left to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, righty. You can put this on your resume now. You can put amateur commentator alongside amateur sim driver.
In brackets, gold champion season 8.
Yeah, yeah. And if anyone is listening and looking for a team, Quantum are looking for a new driver to partner Benny Varga this season. So just drop me a DM.
That's another one, right? He's booted out. Look at that. There's several over this off season. Jeez, behind the scenes.
Matt, it's like these NFL coaches.
NFL head coaches, dropping like flies. Oh, right, he's had a busy off season, hasn't he? Let's be honest. Oh dear. Poor Becky. Either way, Unique still defended from Cummins at this moment in time.
Cummins has got the run. He's got the run.
I don't think he has, because that Alpine look just starts to lose the legs over the Mercedes-Benz. And yeah, Unique can just stay in front. Unique's just struggling through the corners. Looks a little slidey through that chicane there. Look, it brings Cummins right onto the back of him. And then the problem with this final corner is it's not really the place for Cummins to gain much time. What's happened?
Well, nearly going into the back of Varga onto turn 1 there.
Battles happening all around. 29 minutes to go in this race. What's going to happen?
Benny's pitted. Yeah, I don't think Benny Varga's pitted. I could be wrong, but I don't think he has. I just think the Porsche is that slow. It's got the righty traits.
Well, he was behind Sturrock and Johnston before they pitted, so yeah.
Right round the outside.
We're getting all these shots in now, but if we play FIFA a little later on, we're going to be singing his praises, Langley. We both know that.
Well, Cummins has got the job done. He's finally passed Unique again.
Varga's having a look back at Schwab, can't get the move done. Cummins is now back in front of Unique. He's going to head down after Rob Smith. He's now over 6 seconds behind John Goudet, so Goudet looks set for a podium in the GT4 category. Leader of Benton, Diaz just, since that early pressure from Diaz, hasn't been able to get onto the back of Benton anymore, so he's just kind of content with second place, but there's still 28 minutes to go. We're into that now, that fatigue stage, aren't we, of this race? No, go on, Matt, sure thing.
Well, I think, I was just going to say, I think it's all down to traffic, isn't it? You know, Diaz is constantly going to have to be getting out of the way for people, or not having to get out of the way, but, you know, probably moving aside, and that's just going to interrupt his laps to really put any good times in to get on the back of Benton again.
And you get the feel that Diaz has had the bad luck when being lapped, hasn't he? Because Benton seems to have got the guys lapping him on the straights, whereas Diaz seems to have them lapping him mid-corner. So
Jimenez has cut that 3.8 second gap down to 2.2 in 2 laps.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, this fight's going to be back on the cards in another lap or 2.
Well, Jimenez was 1.6 quicker on the last lap, so absolutely flying out there. These GT3s, by the way, we've lost Diego Flores, was the other car that we lost. So Stardog, Cherrymore, Diego Flores, Braga's in the pits. So just for reference, Benton, the leader of GT2, he's lapping in a 2:12.4. The leader of GT4 is Mezin, he's lapping a 2:04. So that's about 8 seconds there, and then Will Friedman lapping in the 1:55s. So absolutely flying right now. Leger 57th, but Leger's possibly carrying some damage thanks to Mike Matthews on the last run. Chris, anyway, I'm off to bed. Got an early start. Hope the rest race goes well. We'll speak to you all next week. Thanks, Chris, for popping in. We'll hopefully see you next Wednesday as Unique back into the pits. So Cummins now looking side by side with Rob Smith as they're trying to get lapped by Sturrock. Rob pulls in front of Cummins to allow Sturrock to put the lap on him. They all try and brake to get through the corner, and Rob Smith still side by side with Sturrock at the moment. Brakes early now to allow Sturrock to go. And finally, Sturrock gets past the pair of them, but Cummins right on the back of Rob Smith now.
I'll tell you what, at least we have a fight for the win in the M2s, because the leaders of the GT2s and the GT4s are a half a lap ahead of second place.
Yeah, indeed they are. Well, M2s, well, there's a good fight though for fourth place in the GT4s. And this surely bodes well for Rob Smith. If this is the car he's taking in the Who Darren Cup next year, good bit of practice against some of his rivals of Cummins in that bronze category.
Yeah, for sure.
Cummins bronze?
I don't know. You're the man who does the tables. I think he's bronze. You're the man who does the driver class. I thought you'd have known off by heart.
Yeah, I saw her the day after.
Can't we tell?
Take quite a few days off, don't you?
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure whether Cummins is a bronze or a silver.
Right, well, there we go.
It's just weird because you tend to take the day off on race days too.
But Rob Smith he's mixing up his car again, isn't he?
I can't do it. Oh my god. Yeah, well, he spins a wheel of names, doesn't he? I believe he doesn't put on the car he's just used on the wheel of names. And yeah, it comes out. Chevy's a good car. That season I won the GT4 championship. I had a great season fight with Jamal in that Chevrolet. We won't speak about Bathurst. I was far enough up the inside, but got deemed that I forced Jamal off the circuit. But we won't go there with it. LMP3 Jamal. The Chevy's a beast of a car. It is a great car. It's coming to look
it goes wide
through turn 3. Turn 4 though. Smith should have that inside line. Does have the inside line. Cummins going to swoop around the outside. Now, France versus America. Chevrolet versus Alpine. And the Alpine straight line speed just keeps him ahead. Just keeps him ahead.
Interesting that we haven't seen any drive-throughs yet. A couple of corners around this track that you can easily run a little bit wide.
Because Rams was not out there.
That's just you.
Get a track limits.
The last time we did a fun event with Ramsel on the circuit, he had about 6 drive-throughs, and he's not racing tonight, so he's probably thankful we've not got there.
Yeah, and just ask him. Misano's his favourite circuit.
I don't think it is. Oh dear.
We've got the court on the back of Varga now.
Oh, I'm just going to jump to this DS.
And they've
both
missed the chicane.
Right, he seems excited by this one, so keep your eyes on this a second. But DeCourt...
You go back to it.
I will do. DeCourt is on the back of Benton by 0.3 of a second, and Jimenez is on the back of Anderson once again. So a couple of M2 fights. Jimenez just letting that of... Oh, nearly taps the back of Richie Michel as the Maserati puts a lap on him. And yeah, Anderson on the back now of... Oh, Anderson's actually slow out of turn 4 because Richie Michel put the lap on him. This has given Jimenez the overlap down towards turn 5. And Wellington Jimenez gets through on Gareth Anderson, sorry. I nearly said Alistair Cummins, but he's the GT4 driver. Now, Benton and Diaz, 0.6 of a second. DeCourt still on the back of Benny Varga. We'll go back to that fight. Can DeCourt get past Benny Varga? These will be fighting each other in the Pro Grid next season. Benny loves that Porsche. He absolutely adores that Porsche. But Rob Smith's back in the pits. Not sure why.
Benny's here to have a little fun. It's called a fun event for a reason.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Langley's enjoying seeing his new teammate out there running the Sodor colours of seasons before he puts the Quantum colours on for the Season 10 Championship.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that livery reveal.
When are you doing them?
I don't know. It's between the drivers. I haven't even seen the liveries.
What liveries? I just got sacked 10 minutes ago.
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, the banter in the commentary box tonight is on point. Don't forget, if you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. The bell to be notified when we go live, and hit the thumbs up if you like what you see here at SimPlay Motorsport. Fun event number 2 at Spa-Francorchamps next week. The Ferrari Challenge, Porsche Super Cup, and the Super Trofeo Lamborghinis will be taking the Ardennes Forest in Belgium. That should be an interesting one. We'll be live for that one on Wednesday night next week, and then Season 10, 2 weeks away after that one. 1 week away. You'll have nothing of the week lead from the 26th onwards, and then the 3rd of February is Hungaroring, Who Darren Cup Pro-Am on the 4th, Pro on the 5th, and then the 7th is the first round of the Endurance Championship as well. Sign-ups went live last night for the public for them, so hopefully they get to see a few more drivers signing up to that one, but that should be a good one. Yoshi will be back in the commentary box for the Endurance Championship, so that'll be great to see Yoshi back in the box for the commentary on the endurance side of things. Great team in that one. Matt Wright, Gray Langley and Matt Duffin. If you thought the banter was good in that, provided we can all do the races. The banter could be even better in that endurance race, but sadly you won't hear it in the commentary channel as Benny Varga puts a lap on Unique. Still,
he's got back the court. Yeah, I thought the court passed him.
Oh, Benny!
Pretty sure it did.
Ooh, bit sideways, he's held it.
I'm not going to lie, chaps, that Porsche is ugly from the rear end.
It's a dreadful thing.
I'll make some of those jokes. I'll make some of those jokes.
Varga must surely have to come in and pit soon, if he hasn't pitted.
Let me check his fuel. Benny Varga. He's got 24 litres left. There's no... If he's slow, he's been fuel saving, but...
He moved up to P4 though at one stage.
He surely pitted.
And I feel like he's just been overtaken.
Friedman's got 28 litres left in the tank. So he's surely got to have pitted, but yeah, interesting.
I do wonder if a splash... I wonder how a splash and dash would work. Like, think about it. If you filled up completely at the start, ran it to empty, and just splash and dash to make it at the end.
I'm sure he's still got the 25-second time limit on them.
Tires must be screaming, though.
What fuel tanks these have got?
Well, I suppose.
Give me ideas for the pro races.
You'll have a 25-second minimum stop though.
You'll be.
That's true.
I'm sure the 25-second stop is on for this. I'm sure it is. Let me double check. Event rules. No, it's not. Actually, no. So yeah, he could have just splashed it down. There you go.
Yeah, it shouldn't be, should it? Yeah.
There you go, Benny. Langers.
I kind of like that. I kind of like that idea though, for the 90-minute races. Too late, as they door bang a little Varga into court, but yeah, because if you turn that off, if you turn the mandatory pit stop off for a 90-minute, you could see variance in strategy. But
you could indeed. Might be something to look
at
for season 11.
True.
Let's see what happens. Yeah, great little drive, great little fight this is in the GT2s, because they've all got a bit strung out between them. Mike's pulled 10 seconds clear of Richie Michelle now, so he's got back into a rhythm. Benton has stayed well clear now of Diaz. That's 1.6 seconds, that gap. So that's Rio.
Friedman onto the back of them as well.
Yeah, so let's see where Will Friedman is. He's just about to lap Diaz now. So he'll probably lap Benton. Where's this? Down in towards turn 5. I think Friedman's a smart driver. This will cost him more. Oh no, he's not. He's going to go up the inside at turn 6. That'll cost Benton a little bit. So that'll bring Diaz back into play a little bit more. We'll go back to Benny Varga as DeCourt goes up the inside. Benny looks for the up and under. Can't get the job done there. And DeCourt is finally got past Benny Varga.
Yeah, DeCourt went around the outside, had the inside for the next corner. Good move, clean move.
Mike Mathews bringing the time down slightly to Leger as well. That was over 3 seconds, I think.
Sorry, Matt, the court's gone off at the chicane. This could allow Benny Varga to have a look up the inside. Not close enough there. I can't wait to commentate on yours two's pro race next season, because you're not teammates. You know, it's out of the bag. All gloves are off. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yes, yeah.
I can't see why he would take points off his own team, though.
My team, I'm SimPlay driver.
It says your quantum badge in this Discord call.
I'll tell you, the amount of points I gave you last season to help you, and you still didn't even win.
Let me just check these pro points, Langley. I'll try and have you back here.
I missed the race. I missed the last race.
Oh, you
I missed 2 races last season.
Yeah, you did. You're right now, so I'm not going to bother looking. Well, yeah.
Let's just say I was ahead of you on points at one point.
I might just be quiet and let these two banter it out for a little bit, Jeff.
That was after I missed 2 races.
I missed 2 races as well.
That was at the end of the season when I then went back in front of you.
Yeah, but you missed a drop score race, Langley didn't.
Well, it helps when you start on pole for the sprint races, because you're last.
Unfortunately, that didn't happen once, but it would have been nice.
Oh my god. Oh.
You're starting at the front for the sprints, I'm starting at the back for the sprints, because I'm at the front of the gold championship.
Oh, brilliant. Well, we're back live next Wednesday, and if we are joined by Langley and Matt, expect more of this, I reckon, as the season gets closer. And
I don't know. I'm
tensions rise.
thinking about maybe trying wheel next weekend.
Yes,
For
go
the
on,
fun
Langley.
race.
Go on. Love that from you.
It's got to be done.
So-
It's got to be done.
But would he
Everyone's saying it's gotta be
would he
done.
be silver in the Who Darren Cup? So possibly in that Porsche Cup?
Well, we'll see. Just gotta go quicker. It's easy, right?
So they say. Yeah, so they say. So Wrighty and Langers are doing the race next week.
Maybe I'll be a on-board commentator.
I don't think. Unfortunately, I won't be able to
You struggle
on a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday night, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fine. We understand.
Unfortunately,
we
family
understand.
commitments.
What that means, Langers, is I'm scared. Scared of Langers on the wheel. We don't want to race.
Not scared of Langers and scared of the missus.
If you're tuning in, Mrs. Wright, he doesn't mean it really. He loves you.
Someone clip that. Send it to her.
She should be watching that, right? Should be drilling it into her to be watching every night.
Nah, you know he doesn't do that. He's even said he's not a quantum driver anymore. So he's making the decisions and not even
Easy
driving.
for you to say. DS right on the back of Benton again. He's closed it right down, 0.6
Yeah.
seconds
We're
as
on
they
board
cross
with
the line.
DS at the moment. He's the car we're watching.
But
That's the
he
closest.
can't get the job done though, can he?
He just can't seem to get close enough to get the job done. He seems to get within this half a second area, but just can't find that little bit more.
Yeah, unless he's just being too generous when the lapping traffic is coming by and he's giving his time up, and then he has to make it all back up again.
Well, they've got a bit of a clear road to the 1, 2, 3 of Cummins. He's not close to them yet. They've got a couple of the GT2s coming through as well. So at the moment, you'd like to say that now is his best chance, you'd say, to put the pressure on Benton. Mike's also within a second of Leger. So that could be interesting. But obviously Mike's already caused damage to Leger, so Mike's possibly, interesting. 13 minutes left of what has been a truly fun night in the commentary box, it has to be said. It's been a real good bit of banter between the guys in the box. Obviously, like we said, the Ferrari Challenge Porsche Cup and the Super Trofeo fun event will be next week at Spa-Francorchamps, so make sure you join us live for that one. It's a shame Matt's not in the Super Trofeo and I'm not in the Ferrari Challenge, just for old time's sake, I suppose.
Yeah. I think we need to go on to speaking a bit about Mezin out there today. So he's been a solid drive from him, hasn't it, in that GT4.
Lonely.
He was
very
very strong in the M2s last season, wasn't he? He turned up and blew it out the park in round one.
Just a lonely, quiet race, hasn't he? Not really been under pressure.
Yeah.
He's 52 seconds clear of Hibbs. And he's just had a good night.
Be interesting to see what he can do in the GT3s, because didn't look as strong in the GT3 as what he did in the M2. So
and I believed he's in the Darren Cup, if I'm correct.
I think
he
he's
is
a reserve.
Driving in the Mercedes. So yeah, that's going to be interesting, I think, to see what he can do in that.
Yeah, a little bit of testing for him today, isn't it?
Yeah, find his feet with the Mercedes. Beautiful car. There's a Benton here. And DS coming down in towards turn 1. This is now where the Alpine feels like a really quick car in a straight line. Although, no, sorry, that's Patrick Leger and the Mike Mathew.
Yeah, that's just going to mention that. Mike Mathews.
Oh, this is hurt Benton. This is hurt Benton. Leger's forced Benton wide, but DS there maybe against a little too kind. Mike's now going to lose time to Patrick Leger through turn 2. And now DS all of a sudden with a huge wiggle on the back of Benton. So ebbed and flowed through the first section there. And this is why we love multi-class racing. Mike and Leger have really got this fight going on, and they've also got the fight here. What is Mike to Leger? It's still within 8 tenths, so still pretty close, but Benton and Diaz doing what they do best, and that is trying to just take this fight to the circuit. Johnson now putting the lap on him. Cummins not far behind now. What's the gap? They've got a huge gap. The minute Cummins laps them, they've got a huge gap behind. And the Alpine must feel rapid in a straight line when it closes in on these two. Slowly, maybe not rapid, it closed slowly. But yeah, after these two, there's a big gap behind to the next car. So Diaz really could do with letting Cummins go. and then trying to almost follow Cummings through one of the corners to try and get onto the back of Benton.
Yeah, we'll see. I think he's going to get him here, which is going to force Diaz on the inside of the track. And...
Oh!
Yeah, not sure why he fought that so hard.
Yeah, Cummings nearly chopped the nose off there. I thought Cummings was about to send it on Benton himself. And now Diaz has lost all that time once again, and that's been Diaz's problem. The traffic has cost him, and it's now cost him again there.
Yeah, not sure if he's listening, but they have to pass him, so... yeah, you don't have to just get out the way in multi-class. It is the responsibility of the quicker car to overtake safely. The only thing that the slower class has to do is just not to be unpredictable.
Just drive the lines.
Yeah,
We've
exactly.
got Schwab and Schumacher getting close together. Looks like teammates out there. We're both running the same livery.
Yeah.
2 new names.
Yeah.
But no sign-ups for the championships. But if this could be their first taste of SimPlay, and then
Yeah, they might
could
want
see
a little
them on the
bit more.
grid.
They look like gold drivers. They look like gold drivers. I mean, GT2's hard to judge, but if they was in the gold category, that's another team to possibly add to the grid with them too, running similar liveries. Yeah, looks pretty good there. Diaz still within half a second, and in fact, he's on the inside of turn 3 of Benton. Richie Michelle, we've just gone back to it, put the lap on Benton there. That has cost Benton huge, and Diaz is through. Although Diaz is slowing down, so was there actually contact between them two?
I did not see. I was watching the fight that Wrighty said, Schwab and Schumacher. So I did not see it myself.
Well, chap.
Still looking at this Diaz fight, right on the back and a slide out of the hairpin there. He's all over the back of Benton and keeping an eye. Yeah, these and the two fights that we were watching are colliding on track right now, and that is Schwab that just drives into the back, but of Diaz there.
Be patient.
Yeah, exactly. And they do eventually get through, but now Diaz is all over the back of Benton again. He might have a run into the chicane in the slipstream, if there even is some at all with these M2s. Is he going to look down the inside on the outside? Benton sticks to the outside. Diaz sticks behind for another corner. But yeah, the faster cars are just super, super aggressive with the lapping.
You'd be crazy to send it in there, wouldn't you? This late on in the race, in 90 minutes, to throw money on him there. But yeah, it's not looking like Diaz going to do it.
Yeah, these faster cars do have to be quite careful. I mean, this is literally for the win of the M2 class, and they're just shoving them out the way. I think that's what happens a lot of time in multi-class, is that the faster classes sometimes it's human nature, but you almost disrespect the slower classes, like you don't give them the same respect out on track.
I think sometimes it's just down to misjudgment.
Yeah.
I think you can think that you've got the pace and you're gonna make it into the corner, and then you just don't. And it's just that thing of that most of us don't have that much experience in multi-class, so you don't know exactly how much speed you're carrying, whether you're going to make it. And sometimes you push it a little bit too much, and you send it into that corner, and it's touch and go.
Yeah, very true. And these two German-colored cars right next to each other, as Schwab almost gets into the back of Schumacher. These two German-colored cars fit this track quite nicely, and we are getting down to the end of this one. Friedman out in front by 47 seconds. Mike just a second and a half behind Leger. And yeah, Schwab all over the back of the same colored car, Schumacher in front of him, goes defensive on the inside. We'll see if Schwab can get a run into turn 1. He is quite close here. See if he can duck into that slipstream. Maybe a look on the inside would still be quite a lunge from that far back.
He's having a look though, isn't he, on that inside line, but can't get anything done. A little too far back. Schumacher decides to come into the inside, runs a little deep on exit. That brings Schwab closer once again. And yeah, interesting to see this race and see how it's developed. In this one, DS shows still off a second behind Benton for the lead and the win in that BMW M2 category. And yeah, what a drive from them two in this race. Mike's within 0.4 of a second of Ligier now, so he's closed that gap quite dramatically through that first sector.
Ligier must have made a mistake because it was 1.7. Now under half a second. The Mike goes a little wide there. Not too bad.
So they just lapped a GT4, so it's probably
probably what happened.
held him up there.
Yeah, Ligier looks like he's got this one covered, if you ask me. I think he might start to open that gap back up. Schumacher and Schwab coming up to the Schumacher S's. They've got that of Jimenez, I think that is, just in front of them to put a lap on. It is indeed. Oh, no, Schumacher. Oh, that was close. That was very, very close to ending in disaster.
Very aggressive. Just very, very
taking risks.
Benton and Diaz side by side. Sorry, Matt. Benton and Diaz side by side into the Dunlop hairpin. Diaz backs out of that one, looks to tuck underneath, can't find it there though, because Benton covers it on the apex of the hairpin corner. So Benton still in front. Diaz is now deciding that now is the time to try and make that move. As Benton goes a little wide through the Schumacher S's, and again just a little squirrely on the exit. Diaz having a look right in the slipstream to the outside line. If he can hold it around here, he'll have the inside for the next part. And I tell you what, he's got very deep. Manages to just keep it in track limits. And Benton may have just lost the lead. And what a move from Diaz that was. Absolutely spectacular. And Benton loses the lead to Diaz with 4 minutes to go.
Great move. Is he going to have a look back into this chicane now? It would be very risky. Does not, but great move from Diaz around the outside, making it stick.
Yeah, indeed it was. Benton's not let this one go yet, though, at the moment, has he? Diaz had a little slide through the chicane, and if Benton can just be close enough on this straight, they've got a GT4 behind him. I believe that's Mezin who's about to put a lap on them. This could be a nice little run down into turn 1 for the BMW driver, but it's not. Doesn't get the exit out the final corner. Ligier has opened his gap up. Benny Varga's in the pits. So, oh my days, Ligier!
Squeezing his way through.
Wow! That was close to being disaster for him. And Mike Matthews has lost out a lot of time, lapping Mirko, Ritchie and Hibbs through the chicane. And Ligier, well, was he right to squeeze his way through there? Because he's now probably put a bit more daylight between himself and Matthews.
I think it's what Wrighty said. It really is just the inexperience of multi-class racing. Most of us are not too experienced with that. Even Mike squeezing his way through on the chicane.
How has he held on to that one?
And it is leading to some very aggressive moves down the stretch here with only probably a lap or two left. I think
2 laps. Friedman's down.
Yeah, 2 laps at the line.
Yeah, so let's see what happens. Friedman, he's got time to back off probably and make it 1 lap, but we'll wait and see what happens. In fact, no, it will be 1 lap at the line, won't it? He'll start the final lap of the race, but Friedman well clear. Then Ligier from Mike, Richie Michel. Then Schumacher with Schwab still behind him. De Court from Sturrock, Benny Varga, and then Michael Johnson. Mezin, dominant display in the GT4s tonight. He leads from Hibbs with Goudet 28 seconds behind him. Cummins is then in 4th with Rob Smith. Then it's Unique. And then Diaz now leads from Benton 1.2 seconds in the M2s with Jimenez in 3rd, Anderson 4th, Mirko Ritchie 5th from Crack, and then Phil Atherton last in the GT4s and Horvath last in the M2s as well. But yeah, Mike and Ligier, they're really caught up in traffic, and Ligier probably the beneficiary of that, but still no drive-through penalties. 90 minutes without a drive-through. That's absurd at SimPlay Motorsport.
I'll tell you what, if you're watching the battle between 5th and 6th, Schumacher and Schwab, they are pushing the limits, to say the least. They have been running wide and taking liberties to track limits any chance they get, both of them, trying to get this 5th place spot in the final lap and a half now for
well,
them.
if they're close to a drive-through, they want it this lap, because if they start the next lap and get one, that'll be game over for them, because it's the end. Friedman is on the final lap of this race. Where is Will Friedman? Just coming out the Mercedes-Benz arena. Schwab, though, still on the back of Schumacher. Through the Schumacher S as he goes. They've got Unique, who's trying to move out the way, and Schwab looking all over the place, but Schumacher went defensive, then saw the GT4, and Schwab trying everything he can to try and attack the back of Schumacher. Then down the back stretch they come. Where is Friedman? Just coming down to the Dunlop hairpin now, and we're on the last lap of the race. Mike's got a second to Leger. They've got 1 lap left to go. Richie Michel is just about to start his final lap, but Schumacher and Schwab putting on a really good bit of a fight here in the dying moments of this race.
Yeah, Schwab might have a run here into the first turn. It's going to be the last lap for them. If you need to make a move, it needs to be now. And Schumacher seems to be pulling a little bit on the straight. Maybe a lower rear wing. Goes a bit defensive. Maybe the switchback. No, not going to happen. But we'll see what I was talking about in this arena section. Both of them, not this lap as much, but we're definitely taking liberties on
Langley.
laps prior.
I'm going to have to just cut you off for a second, because Will Friedman rounds the final corner. He's just put a lap on Jimenez, so that'll give Jimenez 3rd place at least in the BMW M2. But Will Friedman wins. Jimenez crosses the line for 3rd place in the M2s. Patrick Leger nowhere to be seen at the moment. Mezin rounds the final corner. He will win in that GT4 category. What a race for Mezin. Here comes Diaz then, who will win in the M2 category. Just puts another lap on crack. So Diaz wins it in the final 10 minutes of a 90-minute race. He wins in the BMW M2s. Great result for him. Now Leger, half a second. Cannot make a mistake at these final couple of corners, because Mike Matthews will pounce. He's just got to hang on in there over Mike Matthews for 2nd place. The Audi bouncing all over the curbs. Gets it right. Make sure you get the exit to the final corner, because Mike has got even closer through the chicane, and Patrick Leger will put the foot to the floor. 2nd place for Leger. 3rd place for Mike Matthews in the GT4 race. Hibbs is still going for 2nd place. He's coming towards the line. Diaz from Benton from Jimenez was your podium in the M2s. But here comes Hibbs. Goudet still quite the way behind at the moment. Hibbs is going to come to the line, and what is happening in that Schumacher-Schwab fight? Schumacher a little messy through the S's, and Schwab just has ran out of time to get the move done on Schumacher.
Or has he?
Or has he? Or has he? It gets very close at the end there, but it stays as is as they cross the line. And good night of racing.
It was indeed. Here comes Unique to cross the line with Horvath. Anderson in the chat saying, GG's everyone, thanks for the stream, lads. Our pleasure once again, Anderson. Great race from yourself. John Goudet will finish 3rd in that GT4 category. We're just waiting for Cummins to finish, and for DeCourt. DeCourt's going to cross the line now, and then Cummins we await for to cross the line. What an epic 90-minute race.
Yeah, and good way to kick off our pre-season, as you could call it, a pre-season before we get into the main season. One more fun event next week. Is there one after that? I don't think so.
That's it. That's it.
So one more fun event, and then we'll be looking forward to the start of the season.
Yeah, looking forward to the start of the season. Are you looking forward to it, Langley? Are you ready for this one? You know, going to be an interesting one for you.
Ready? No, because I don't know if I'm doing wheel or staying on controller yet, because I haven't driven ACC on wheel in probably 5 years.
Matt, yourself, are you looking forward to it? Obviously, you've got to fight Langley this season, no longer teammates.
Yeah, I've got a new car to learn. Obviously, like I said earlier, I'm taking the M4. It hasn't been smooth sailing in the little bit of time that I've had in it so far. It's very different to the Ferrari. But I'll get there. I'll put some competitive times on the board. But I think a possible championship's probably out of my reach with some of the guys out there. But we'll go out there, we'll give it our best.
Is that you confirming you're staying in gold next season?
We'll go silver.
He's just sandbagging to have a chance next season.
Mike Mathew said a good.
I think there's a very, very strong driver out there that's picked a very strong car for himself.
Mike Mathew said
I can't see anyone beating him.
A good race, that. Still pedal adjustments to be made. New wheel and pedals made this track fun, says Jimenez. But that is all we have time for today's event. We will be back live next Wednesday. We'll see you in the commentary box for that one. But Langley, thank you, and Matt, thank you both for joining us in the commentary box. It's been a fun night.
Very fun night.
Welcome.
And
Welcome.
looking forward to the season.
Looking forward to the season indeed. Me and Langley, if we're not in the commentary box tomorrow night, we'll be back for the Pro-Am Championship. We've still got things to work out for who's doing Who Darren Cup and Pro, but you can reassure yourselves that this will be an interesting season coming your way, starting on the 3rd of February at the Hungaroring. 3rd, 4th and 5th for the Who Darren Cup Pro-Am and Pro, and on the 7th is our first endurance event for season 2 of the Endurance Championship, so don't miss that one either. Yoshi will be bringing you the action for the Endurance Championship. But from me, myself, Langers and Wrighty, thank you all for tuning in tonight. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and hit the bell to be notified, as well as check out the Design Manchester sponsorship in the description below for any products or vinyl graphics that you will want making there. Head over to Design Manchester's Facebook page and get in touch with Mike himself for all of that. But from all of us here at SimPlay Motorsport, we'll see you